The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Good morning. Ken Dorset alleging $4.16 million in losses. The former minister suing the government, seeking other damages as well. National Security Minister Wayne Munro says it would be unwise for government to disclose settlement sums. And the latest on NIB. It's all straight ahead this morning. I'm Dwight Strachan, and this is Morning Blend.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's here. It's the start of the end of the old way. Revolution. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning again, Bahamas. It is Thursday, July 14th, 2022. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Again, I'm Dwight Strachan. In a moment, Laverne Gardner will be joining us. Also this morning, we are going to be talking with British High Commissioner Sarah Dixon. She is leaving the Bahamas, and this will be one of our final interviews. We're going to be very honored to talk with her again today, and that's going to go into Morning Blend business as well. So that's coming up. But first, it's time for the overnight, the latest breaking news from while you were sleeping, and the top national and international headlines this morning. In the overnight, alleging that police officers were acting on direct instructions from the political directorate when they arrested him in 2017, former Minister of Environment and Housing Kenred Dorset, who was brought on corruption charges and whose case was discontinued earlier this year, has filed an action against the government in the Supreme Court, outlining the $4.16 million in loss and damage he says he suffered as a result. Dorset alleges unlawful arrest, malicious prosecution, and misfeasance in public office on the part of certain public officials. The pecuniary damages of $4.16 million include $253,000 in legal fees, $3.5 million in lost revenue over 5 years, $407,900 in liquidation of real estate and securities, and $3,000 for a canceled family vacation in Las Vegas as a result of his arrest. In addition to the $4.16 million, the former minister is also seeking unspecified aggravated and exemplary damages. Dorset, an attorney and businessman, alleges high-handedness and unconstitutional misconduct on the part of the government and police officers. He alleges in his statement of claim that it was the intent of senior members of the Minnis administration to manipulate the Royal Bahamas Police Force and prosecutorial authorities to have political opponents imprisoned. National Security Minister Wayne Monroe says that it's unwise and not sensible for the government to disclose what it pays out in settlements. Monroe, who was wrapping up debate on the Rehabilitation of Offenders Amendment Bill 2022, said if the government disclosed the sums paid out in settlements, it could hamper negotiations in future settlements. He says that, quote, when citizens get money, the state ends up paying costs. The reason that when you settle a matter, you don't say how much you paid is because you have a line of people behind you wanting to know how much they give so-and-so. He said that he has never settled any matter with any private institution where there wasn't a confidentiality order. Prime Minister Philip Davis says that the government is considering whether to go as far as legalizing the recreational use of marijuana. The Davis administration is committed to advancing a cannabis bill to develop a comprehensive regulatory framework for growing, harvesting, and exporting cannabis within the first 6 months of the new fiscal year. Davis answering questions after giving a lecture on the National Development Plan at the Meet the Policymakers lecture hosted by the University of the Bahamas Government and Public Policy Institute. And labeling the Davis administration as, quote, a lot of talk but no action, Bahamas Public Service Union President Kimsley Ferguson threatening industrial action on behalf of employees at the Airport Authority and Princess Margaret Hospital should several outstanding industrial agreements not be completed. Ferguson, who is also vice president of the newly formed Bahamas National Alliance Trade Union Congress Umbrella Union, saying once the Friday deadline is passed, quote, everywhere that there are people that we bargain for, we're going to collect ourselves. Ferguson says he is not impressed with the Davis administration's performance with regard to labor so far. Regarding the outstanding industrial agreements for the public service, the government has presented a counter-proposal, which Ferguson says does not cover 2 years still covered under the agreement. That's still in place. And the trial of 2 men charged with murder and 2 counts of attempted murder adjourned to July 18th after officials were unable to select a jury. Vernal Johnson and Christopher Blyden, who are on bail, appeared before Justice Deborah Fraser on Wednesday for the start of their trial. Prosecutors allege that they are responsible for the February 9th, 2018 murder of Rico Taylor and the attempted murders of Jarvis Joseph and Anthony Major. The charges stem from a shooting at a nightclub on Hutchinson Street. Their trial was scheduled to begin yesterday, but there were not enough jurors in the pool for Friday's election to take place. Overseas, U.S. President Joe Biden and Israeli Prime Minister Yair Lapid today discussing Iran's rapidly progressing nuclear program, with the Israeli leader vowing afterward that there will be no nuclear Iran. The U.S. president, who is set to travel to Saudi Arabia on Friday, says he also stressed to Lapid the importance of Israel becoming totally integrated in the region. Their one-on-one, the centerpiece of a 48-hour visit by Biden aimed at strengthening already tight relations between the U.S. and Israel. The leaders are expected to sign a joint declaration later today, emphasizing military cooperation and a commitment to preventing Iran, which Israel considers an enemy, from obtaining a nuclear weapon. Israeli officials have sought to use Biden's first visit to the Middle East as president to underscore that Iran's nuclear program has progressed too far and to encourage the Biden administration to scuttle efforts to revive a 2015 agreement with Iran to limit its development. And Sri Lankan protesters began to retreat from government buildings they had seized, and military troops reinforced security at the parliament today, establishing a tenuous calm in a country in both economic meltdown and political limbo. The embattled president fled a day earlier under pressure from protesters furious over the island nation's economic collapse, but he failed to resign as promised and made his almost equally despised prime minister acting leader. Protesters want both men out and a unity government in to address the economic calamity that has triggered widespread shortages of food, fuel, and other necessities. But with a fractured opposition and confusion over who's in charge, a solution seemed no closer following the president's departure. Adding to the confusion, the president was still on the move, leaving the Maldives for Singapore today, according to an official who spoke to the Associated Press on condition of anonymity. The president and his wife fled Sri Lanka early Wednesday aboard an Air Force plane as protesters were taking over government buildings to demand he resign. The president promised over the weekend he would do so, but instead named his prime minister acting president in his absence. Meanwhile, today the government announced a new curfew for the capital, Colombo, and its suburbs. That's to run until 5 a.m. Friday. And protesters were withdrawing from the presidential palace after occupying it during the weekend. Some were seen unrolling a red carpet in the palace as they left. In sports, local bodybuilding and fitness fans will have an opportunity to watch a show featuring the sport after 2 years of being starved as the Bahamas Bodybuilding and Fitness Federation gets ready to host the 49th BBAFF National Championship. It's going to be at Atlantis, the Atlantis Theater. Saturday, action gets underway at 7 p.m. There are about 50 athletes who will be competing, and some may register at the last minute as well. They'll compete in men's physique, men's muscular physique, women's figure, women's bikini, women's wellness, women's fit model, women's fitness, men's fit model, men's classic physique, and men's bodybuilding. You can read more about it in today's Guardian Sports section. And being a professional basketball player is more than just playing basketball on a court. It also includes being accommodating to the media, sometimes before and after a game. At the 9th Danico Bowles Elite Skills Basketball Camp Director Danico Bowles ensured the campers knew how to address the media in the future. The camp, being held at the Kendall Isaacs Gym, accommodated media personnel who made presentations to the campers. You can read more about how that went in today's Guardian Sports section as well. And from Major League Baseball, the Kansas City Royals will be without 10 of the 26 players on their active roster for their upcoming trip to Toronto due to Canadian restrictions on travelers who aren't vaccinated against COVID-19. Manager Mike Matheny saying Wednesday the club will be without hitters Andrew Benintendi, Hunter Dozier, and more. The team is set to play 4 games in Toronto. The 10 players will be placed on the restricted list and forfeit 4 days of pay and a Major League service time in accordance to the rules with MLB's collective bargaining agreement. Benintendi alone will lose $186,813. Others will lose anywhere from $15,000 to $153,000. The club will name their replacements today, along with an announcement about other staff who won't be traveling with the club. That's sports. And that's the overnight. Time for your first look at weather. In your weather for today, we've got a mid to upper level low currently migrating over the area. That will continue to trigger sporadic bouts of active weather across portions of the islands today. Meanwhile, a prominent surface ridge extending across the country will lift northwards as it continues to steer warm and locally fresh summer breezes across the islands through tonight. Boaters should remain alert Due to the threat of possible waterspout activity, beachgoers should exercise caution as well. There's a risk of rip currents along eastern and southern shorelines. And again, everybody's being advised to remain hydrated and limit outdoor activities during peak afternoon hours, as heat indices are expected to soar into the triple digits. So for today, for all areas, look for variably cloudy, hot, humid, and breezy conditions with widely scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms through tonight. Expect gusty winds and higher seas in or near heavy showers and thunderstorms. Winds east to southeast at 15 knots, becoming gusty at times. Seas 3 to 5 feet, becoming occasionally higher in gust over open waters. We're looking at high temperatures today, getting up to around 91 Fahrenheit, 33 Celsius. The heat index will make it feel like 103 Fahrenheit, 39 Celsius. And overnight lows tonight getting down to about 77 Fahrenheit, 25 Celsius. Currently, it's about 80 degrees and partly cloudy skies in Nassau. That's your first look at weather this morning. We've got rain in the forecast. We'll tell you all about that in your extended outlook and look at the tropics coming up after traffic in just a bit.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up.
It is time for a break, but when we come back, we're discussing the day's top stories right here on Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9, your home for fresh news and smart talk all day.
Start off the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
Technology serves to make our lives better, so why not your business too? At Custom Computers, we've been maintaining our knowledge and relationships with top tech companies since 1987 and carry only the most trusted brands like Apple, Microsoft, HP, and more. No company has helped more businesses build reliable IT systems than Custom Computers. You name it, we've done it. Call 396-1101 to talk to any of our business experts. Find trust in your tech. Count on Custom Computers.
Hello? Keisha, you something else, boy.
Who this is? Tamika?
You don't even remember my name? Wow, Dread.
Girl, I've been so busy. You still planning your trip?
Girl, and I can't wait. I right here online booking my car.
You dare planning trip. You vaccinated?
Girl, we had to. We ain't been nowhere since this pandemic started. Girl, and we got a 14-day vacation.
Best vacation ever.
Girl, are you though?
Well, I know you was gonna get the vaccine because you too like travel. When y'all get your vaccine?
Girl, long time. Because you gotta get your first dose, wait, then get your second dose at least 2 weeks before you travel. Johnny get his vaccine and he 12. Even Grammy get hers. Child, and Grammy say she ain't get no money. But I see her hiding that under the mattress.
Child, let me send my list because I know you going shopping.
Keisha, don't play with me.
Vaccinate today, live tomorrow. A message by PAHO WHO, Canada, and USAID.
Are you an attorney with a joint practice operating from one location? Accepting payments from clients doesn't have to be complicated.
Introducing RBC MultiPay. Now each attorney can securely accept and settle payments with one point-of-sale device supporting multiple bank accounts.
With competitive pricing, training, and easy setup, you will be up and running in no time.
Call 356-8500 to sign up for
RBC
MultiPay.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. 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 Wake up, wake up.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan. Joining me now, Laverne Gardner. Laverne Gardner, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing well. Hope you are doing well as well.
Yes.
How are things up there in Grand Bahama?
It's hot.
Oh, man. Thought it was just us. Oh, boy. All right.
Listen, I saw, I think it was a meme that said, what did it say? It said, I want the old son back. Say this new son taking its job too seriously.
Yeah, it's insane.
I gotta agree, Dwight.
Oh boy, yeah, this is something else. But hopefully we'll get a little break. There's some rain coming for the next few days, and that might, drop the temperatures a little bit when it's not raining, right? Well, when it is raining. Although it's hotter after the rain, it feels sometimes, right?
The humidity.
Yeah. Oh boy. Anyway, we'll see. We'll see how that goes. All right. So you can join the conversation today, folks. We'll give you the phone numbers to call in just a bit. You can also tweet us at morningblend969 or facebook.com/morningblend969. Text us on the Guardian Radio text line powered by BTC 422-4796. Standard text rate supply. Coming up this morning, we have more weather and traffic. In our 8 o'clock hour, we will begin our conversation with British High Commissioner Sarah Dixon, outgoing British High Commissioner Sarah Dixon. We're going to miss her. She's been pretty cool. And we're going to talk with her about her time here in the Bahamas and the relationship between the Bahamas and the UK, especially during this week in which we celebrated our independence. So it's going to be quite timely and interesting. Stay tuned for that. And that will extend into Morning Blend business as well. We're going to talk about some of the opportunities between the two countries in that hour. All right, so that's what we've got for you. But we also want to talk about what's in the news. And in the news, big headline in the NASA Guardian, Dorset alleges $4.16 million in losses. The former minister suing the government now, seeking other damages as well. You can read that full story by our Candia Dames in today's NASA Guardian. And it has a breakdown of what all that money is for and about. Again, and then in today's NASA Guardian. All right, so there have been quite a few of these court matters, and the government has chosen to settle most of them out of court. The rationale has been that they're likely to lose the cases. That's how strong the cases are so far. And in the House of Assembly yesterday, Wayne Monroe talking about this, the National Security Minister, saying it would be unwise for the government to disclose the settlement sums. People have been asking how much have you been paying out. Our Travis Cartwright-Carroll writing about it. Monroe saying yesterday that it is unwise and not sensible for the government to disclose what it pays out in settlements. Monroe, wrapping up debate on the Rehabilitation of Offenders Amendment Bill 2022, said if the government disclosed the sums paid out in settlements, it could hamper negotiations in future settlements. He said, quote, when citizens get money, the state ends up paying the costs. The reason that when you settle a matter, you don't So how much you paid is because you have a line of people behind you wanting to know, quote, how much did you give Mr. Roll? If you give Mr. Roll $10,000, you can't give me less than that. I've never settled any matter with any private institution where there wasn't a confidentiality order. It is disingenuous to suggest that the Bahamas government, which is an entity most sued in the court, would disclose the level of settlements that we are entering into to provide fodder for people to say, quote, when I negotiate with you, now I know that he got X, so you have to pay me X plus. It is not wise. It is not a sensible way to do business. Well, opposition leader Michael Pintard disagreed. On a point of order, he said the government is obliged to disclose how much it pays civil servants awarded settlements. He said, quote, for public servants who are getting settlements from governments are obliged to share what they're giving to public servants, particularly who are sitting in sensitive positions, so the public can know there is nothing untoward that is going on here. You have persons in sensitive positions who are in charge of investigations that are high profile. During the exact period they are doing the investigation, they are elevated in terms of their job, and they have a settlement based on past grievances that they have. It is important for the public to know that the figure that they got is commensurate with the injury that they experienced, so that no one is left to speculate that if they got $1 million, they could say that that has never happened before in this or any other similar jurisdiction, and there must be something untoward. So you're protecting the individual as well who is receiving the settlement. That's what Pintard had to say. Well, the government recently reached undisclosed settlements with Commissioner of Police Clayton Fernander, Deputy Commissioner of Police Limon Delaveau, Financial Secretary Simon Wilson, and several other members of the board of Bahamas Power and Light, BPL, including the former chairperson Darnell Osborne. It also reached a $2.5 million settlement with former PLP Cabinet Minister Shane Gibson, who was acquitted of corruption-related charges. Okay. Interesting points on both sides, but what do you say? Let's get your reaction to it, Laverne and listeners.
Nonsense.
What?
Nonsense.
Which part?
Nonsense.
Who's saying the nonsense?
First part.
Monroe, you say?
Wayne Monroe. I'm not accepting that, Dwight. We have a right to know. It is our money that is being paid. Don't tell me about what's going on. I understand you settle cases with private firms. This is not a private firm. This is the taxpayers. When you're paying out citizens from the money that you collected from other citizens, including those citizens, we should know. So I'm not accepting of that. And if you can go in the House of Assembly and you can stand up and you can say how much this person was making when they were in this position and this amount and all the perks that they had, then because that was the government and you want the people to know because it's our money, then we can also know what these settlements are. I don't accept that. It is not right. It is not right. These settlements are happening and we have no clue.
Yeah.
And we have absolutely no clue. That's crazy.
And to your point, I mean, so he brings up, Wayne Monroe, that folks will come behind and say, well, you better pay me this. But you could ask for anything you want. That doesn't mean you'll get that.
Doesn't mean you're going to get it. That is exactly right. You can. So what are they saying? They don't want a precedence to be set? No, you just don't want to say. You do not want to say. And we all know how this works. So let's not pretend that we don't know how this works. Those who were in power and who were of the opposite political persuasion, if they have a matter with the government before the courts, once the government's changed to the political party that they support, then they get their settlement. That's what happens. So this isn't a new thing. This is what happens. So if you are in the Free National Movement or you supported the Free National Movement or have been known to support the Free National Movement, if you have an issue with the government, this current government, once the government changes, then your claim gets settled. This is what we do. So, this, you don't want to put it out there for people to be lining up. I'm not accepting that. I'm not accepting it's a matter of safety by not saying. I'm not accepting any of that. They have a responsibility to let us know how much of our money you are settling, paying out to whomever.
Yeah. Oh, and the text messages are flying in. So are the calls, and you can call in as well. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. Okay, let's go to the phone lines. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Today, to this dark voice along with you and your co-host, Dwight.
Good morning.
Dwight, I never heard much utter foolishness as what the minister had said. Here it is. If you're doing the right thing, you have nothing to be afraid of. If you're giving, if you're doing justice and order, you know, to the gentleman, to the commissioner, what are you hiding things for? It's our money. It's not only their money. It's the majority of Bahamian people's money, and we have the right to know. So that's foolishness. He should get away with that foolishness in people's ears, okay?
Okay, well, you should
Thank you.
move away, yes, and shouldn't get away. Okay, both, yeah, I get it. Good morning, caller. You are on the air. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, caller.
Turn on your radio for us, please.
Good morning, caller. Right, Strachan, how you doing, sir?
Good morning.
Right.
Am I going to regret this?
No, why not, Dwight? This is a civilized way. Dwight, that's for Mr. Laverne Gardner. Laverne Gardner, with all respect, Dwight, you getting personal, okay?
How is that personal?
Pardon me?
How is that personal?
Oh, Mr. Strachan, the biggest question right now, right? Many people want to know why Laverne and Megan and Doc refuse to comment. You all get a wall and let the thief.
Okay, see, this is the same thing again, Dave. What's this? This is why. This is why. What was that? What's happening here? What are you trying to do now? What is this? Laverne, you may have a settlement coming your way too. I don't know. Anyway, what is that? What's happening?
And if I do,
that's stupid.
okay
As they say, right?
disclose it.
Send all your text messages about when you play with the puppy, lick mouth thing. Send it. Yeah, send it. I'm a fool. I am an idiot. I hope you record that and post that over,
What
because
happened-
I don't know what's wrong with me.
What happened is you got fooled by the photo. Lulled you into false sense of security.
Yeah, we knew that was going to happen.
But you know,
Anyway, okay.
This is when you do not have a Freedom of Information Act. This is when you just rely on the whims and fancies of people to be accountable. When you don't have proper policies in place, or even if you have them in place, you're not enforcing them. I'm not accepting. I have not heard any reasonable reason why we should not know these settlement amounts. I have not.
Yeah, okay. And the one that we got from the press secretary a few days ago, that was also nonsense, right?
Really? No.
About the security
Right.
reasons.
As soon as I realized that is the vein in which he was going, I was like, okay, let me change this channel.
Oh boy, yeah. All right. Continue to call in 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. All right, let's get to the text messages while we sort out those calls there. This person says here, hi, Dwight, I'm in Coral Harbor and can't find ice in Nassau. Can't be a real place. Okay, somebody called in on Tuesday and said there was an ice issue over the weekend. So this is a thing now, too, in the hottest period that I can remember in life. We have an ice issue? There's not just one company making ice now, right? So all of them have?
I'm
It can't
sorry,
be.
Dwight, I can't disclose that.
That's funny. That's very funny. This one said, oh boy, they're coming for you today, Laverne. Laverne never sides with the PLP. I am not surprised. I wonder why. That must have been sent from Dave himself.
You know what? Dwight, it's funny to me, right? Because anybody who really knows me, it's crazy. It's crazy. Okay. We'll go with that.
Right, just accept it.
Funny.
Tomorrow it'll be
something else.
Laverne is always a PLP.
Yeah.
Oh, she never wears red. Yeah. Okay. This one says here, all those people that's been waiting on settlements from government for years, why didn't they settle with them first? Police retirees can't get their gratuity for years, but the new day cronies are getting their shingles. This one's here. It's the public money, Monroe. Foolishness. It's all a game to continue fleecing the country. Another one. Mr. Monroe is talking foolishness. It's the public money, so the public needs to know. For the past 20 years, retired junior officers who have given 25 to 35 years of service to this country cannot get their gratuity, but the government can pay all those other people who entered matters in less than 2 years. Okay,
there you go, Dwight. That's another point that people are making.
Yeah.
Okay.
This one says here, Laverne had a very good point. When they want to bash the other party, they give us figures. We also have the figure of how much the NGO hands for anyway, I guess you know what they're talking about, the food feeding program there. How much they, when they reveal that.
Yes, and Dwight, successive governments do it.
Yeah.
That's what they do, and we accept it, and I've just had enough.
Callers coming to you right now. This person says here, Dr. Minnis had the nerve to talk about crime and criminals in the House yesterday when he, as the competent authority, told the police to lock them up 1 minute after 10 p.m. and also stated that he did that. And the video with him saying that is on Facebook, on his Facebook page. He is unbelievable. Well, yeah, we realized that a little while back, didn't we? This one says here, why were we told what Shane Gibson got if that is the policy? Why indeed? Why indeed? Let's.
Are we not concerned about his safety?
And about that inspiring others.
Right.
Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Hey, good morning, Dwight.
Hi.
And good morning, Miss Gardner, and good morning to those who wake up in the land of living. I hope you had something out of your chest. Dwight, you know something? I listened to something with Miss Gardner. First of all, Mr. Carl Bell was the AG then, right? All the cases that were presented to the government then, as far as lawsuits, when it comes to civil lawsuits, they lost every last one, Dwight. And you know what? What I was telling someone a few months ago, that persons who were awarded monies through the court of winning cases against the government of then, which was the F&M, would not award the people the monies. And this is what happened. This is like an overspin from the past government. Okay, here it is, Dwight. Name me, and name the Bahamian people this morning on this radio, one case that the AG won under the Free National Movement government led by Mr. Carl Bell. Name me one case.
I can't recall, but
we've talked about this during that time about how the AG kept losing cases. So there's no denying. We've spoken about this, Dwight, you and I on more than one occasion. And for me, the issue isn't. I'm not speaking to the loss of the cases because that's already been established, right?
Yes,
I'm just saying that we're settling. And we should know what the settlement amount is.
Ms. Gardner and Dwight and the people and the persons who are texting and I'm not running from what no one is saying, you know. What I am saying to you, that the past government lost these cases, right, years ago, and they refused to settle. Or the court settlement, whether it's a court settlement. But they refuse. So now here it is now. The burden of finding monies leaves on the now government, which is the Progressive Liberal Party.
All right. But what is the relevance to what we're discussing today?
The relevance is why didn't they honor those lawsuits or civil lawsuits when they were the government?
Oh, well, okay. They're gone, and now we're here in 2022, and all we're asking is what are the settlements?
I hope that persons who are honored that they get their money. But I want to say one last thing. I think someone texted and alluded to something. You know, yesterday when I listened to the former prime minister said that he agreed with now the government to expunge those persons who were charged with the infractions with the COVID-19. But I don't understand why is it that you allow, why in the first place you put those, infractions on those persons. You left those persons, they're going to expunge their records, as I understand. They still had to pay fines. During that time, when we had nothing, people still had to pay fines. And now you're coming back with a double standard and saying you're supporting the government of the day to expunge their records?
Mm-hmm.
Come on, man, Dwight. That's not being fair.
We don't like to spend too much time talking about what he says now. But yeah, this is not surprising. Politicians will do their thing. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Thank you very much, Dwight. Good morning, caller.
Good morning.
Hi.
As far as government settling with people and honoring court decisions, all the governments have been doing that. They have people who government acquire their land to do certain things that hasn't been paid under all, will probably go past Mr. Penman administration.
Wow.
So this thing about FNM and PLP is just a bunch of hogwash because the government of the Bahamas is continuous.
Mm-hmm.
And that is why it is so disappointing when you change a government, you still see the exact same pattern that the former government get voted out taking place.
Yeah.
And I don't think these politicians is really understand what Bahamian people really be voting these parties out of office for. They want transparency because if you go to court, the court is declare all the time when they award persons monies in the court. Your newspapers publish it. All the newspapers has published some of the awarding of costs and damages to people who sue the government.
Yep.
So the ministers in this particular administration, they need to go back and read the newspapers or Google what took place before they became the government and see what made the majority of Bahamian people angry at the governments that they voted out. This is the same pattern.
Yep.
Like they don't learn. You could say, but safety. Okay, so when the Supreme Court award an open court to people, is the Supreme Court concerned about safety of those persons who being awarded? The money is not theirs. I mean, you can't keep making these frivolous excuses. You're educated people in this country and right-thinking people. You could go in Parliament and expose other people how much they get paid. You don't be thinking about their safety. And Clint Watson, I don't know. Sometimes he's saying it's a waste of our money. Would be paying him, but sometimes he's get up to the podium and say some nonsensical things. I mean, it just to me, I speaking for myself. And like I say, these politicians have to understand what the Bahamian people voted out, the former government for, the government before them, and the government before them. It's all about transparency. The money belongs to the Bahamian people, all of us who pay taxes, money that go in the consolidated fund. That's why the consolidated fund said all government debt is charged on the consolidated fund. So if the government owe me money, and it ain't the PLP government, it's the government of the Bahamas. It isn't the FNM government that owes me money. It's the government of the Bahamas.
Absolutely.
And if you owe me and you pay me, there's nothing wrong with saying this is the amount that is I had to pay out. Because that's what safety and transparency is all about.
Indeed.
And if we don't get that, they only build skating.
Yep. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Well, they use these things when it's convenient, right? As people have been saying all morning, when it suits them. Let's take another call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Good morning. Are you there?
Pleasant good morning, Dwight. How are you?
Doing well.
Excellent. Good morning, Laverne. How are you, ma'am?
Good morning.
Hi. So, Dwight, here's the thing. Let's say we were all gullible and we just decided to accept what Mr. Monroe has said thus far, the reason for not disclosing the settlement amounts and the terms or whatever transpired, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think arguably most would say that as an attorney, Mr. Monroe is arguably, again, one of the most brilliant legal minds of our time, right? So this is an opportunity for the Bahamian people to benefit from that. If the cases and the reasoning for the cases being settled is that they're weak and ultimately the government is not going to win them, right? Wouldn't this be an opportunity then for Mr. Monroe's legal experience to implement some things, for example, like the inclusion of personal liability if these weak cases led to the mistreatment of civil servants, senior civil servants, and members of parliament, as opposed to just, it appears that he's saying, he's throwing his hands up in the air, it is what it is, and that the Bahamian people should accept that, even though we're the ones that have to pay the tab. I think maybe that's the approach that we should take. Ask him to use some of that legal brilliance to protect us from losing so much money. How about that one?
That's an excellent point. Yes, sounds great, and we're not hearing
Yes,
that at all.
100%.
Not hearing
I
that
agree.
at all. What we've learned from these things so that it never happens again, and what we're going to do to fix it. Not hearing that discussion. But you are absolutely right. That's what's needed. Don't hold your breath. Don't do it. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Are you there?
Yes. Hey, good morning. Good morning, Dwight. Good morning, Bahamas.
Hi.
It's teacher calling. I don't call often, but calling right now and giving an update. School is closed, and all of the programs are doing well. With the vacation Bible schools and the summer camps, in the midst of all that may be going on, there is still hope. The young people are having a blast, and we're really looking forward to just getting back to some form of normalcy come this September. And of course, as a coach myself, I'm just looking forward to being able to compete with whether it's my basketball team, my softball team, track, in the upcoming months. And so I just wanted to call and just continue to let you know, Dwight, you guys are doing a good job. Good fun talk every morning. It's good to listen. But, I don't normally take part, but I like to always give that shout out to the youth of our nation, which matters most. And Dwight, I just also want to let you know, give an update on, I see we did a great job of voting Jazz Chisholm in, and I want you to know that on Saturday Eve for Los Angeles, if one Bahamian going to be there when his name is called, I'm going to be there.
Oh, wow.
And I'm going to be with all my colors, and so Dwight, when I get back, if you need me to call in and just give everybody an update of how the chills just went through my body, just hearing his name, hopefully on Tuesday, God willingly, I'd be more than happy to come on, call in, and just let you guys know. I know I'll try my best to send photos and videos out to the various chat groups that I'm a part of, and hopefully they can disseminate it throughout the length and breadth of their chat groups throughout the Bahamas. But listen, man, happy 49, and listen, we have a lot to be proud of in this country, and let's turn on our TVs on Tuesday at 7:30 on Fox, and let's hear when they say starting second baseman, National League, Charles Chisholm Jr., and all Bahamians should be glued to their TV.
Okay.
Thank you. You guys have a great day.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Hey, man. Okay. It's good to know. Good to know. Your moment of positivity there for the morning, Laverne. Okay. But yeah, the All-Star game. I hope Jazz is going to be able to play. I don't know. He's not, right? He's got some issues. But yeah, we got him in. That's fantastic. Okay. A couple more messages. Or should we take, let's take these calls, then we'll take the break, and then we'll get back to your text messages. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Morning, Dwight. Morning, Laverne.
Hi.
Morning.
Dwight, the previous caller, he hit on two spots, on two matters that I always talk about. I mean, when it comes down to these lawsuits, especially if the person feels that it's a personal attack by the person, by the individual, I believe that they should actually go into a civil suit to sue that person. When you talk the government, i.e. the premium people, that means that all of us out here, even those who did not agree with the attack, have to pay a settlement that we shouldn't have to pay. The thing is, there has to be some separation where the aggrieved should be able to go after the person personally and leave the taxpayer out of the whole equation. But unfortunately, it seems as if our system is not set up that way. My last point here is the matter with the public having the right to know what is being paid out in these settlements. That is our right. That is our money is being used. And maybe perhaps I'm going to throw a little wrench here. Maybe perhaps this is the attitude why we can't even get proper disclosure from the Public Disclosure Committee with a whole lot of these parliamentarians sitting in Parliament. All of this stuff adds up. It comes together, and now we understand what the attitude in this country is all about. But
explain. I don't get it. You're saying why would that be?
What I'm saying here, Dwight, is if you have this thing where he now feels that in order for the person who is receiving these monies, you cannot disclose the amount of monies that is being paid out, which is actually our right. Isn't it also our right to know when you enter into Parliament what your assets are, so we can determine whether there's any malfeasance?
Well, that one's a law. So I mean, the problem with that one is that the lawmakers are not adhering to the law and doing what the law prescribes should be done to those who don't adhere to the law. So that's a little bit different, and there's no excuse for that. They all should be. There's some people who should be fined or maybe even imprisoned for not reviewing.
What I am saying, Dwight, is like I said, I was pointing
the attitude.
Just to show the attitude.
Right.
That's all it is. So we got to fix this piece. We can't continue like this.
Yeah.
Thanks for taking my point.
Yeah. Well, again, the big difference is you can afford to have an attitude. The law says something different. And the problem is nobody's enforcing it. That's crazy. But I guess that's on us because we're just like, oh, well, look at them again, not doing what they're supposed to do and walking away and talking about something else. So, and that feeds the attitude. So it's really on all of us, that one. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Are you there? No. Okay. Take the other call. Yes. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Yes. Good morning, Dwight. Good
Hi.
morning, Ms. Gardner.
Good.
I want to know. I know you can't answer this, right? But can we bring a class action suit against the government?
For what? You could, but yeah, for what?
Because they are clearly breaking the law. When Dr. Minnie was doing all of those foolishness, right? Wayne Monroe was the first one to jump up and say, we're going to bring a class action suit against the government because they're breaking the law. When Reese Chipman was the member of Parliament for Senate bill, he was on the radio, and he said that the government has in place all of these mechanisms under the Westminster system for checks and balances, right? We have the PAC, the Public Accounts Committee, which is supposed to question and supposed to keep the government in check. But yet the government, whichever government is in power, they are failed. The Public Accounts Committee has the ability to subpoena people, to call them, and to get the answers that they need. So I'm calling on the opposition right now, which I understand is headed by the opposition, that they have the majority, to use the powers of the PAC. And if the government refuses, take them to court. Because this is how the government is supposed to be held accountable by the Public Accounts Committee. We need answers. We can't wait on this Freedom of Information Act because it can be another 100 years before we get anywhere with this FOI.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. All right. As we go to the break, this great text here, Laverne. When we talk about competency of the minister, yes, he is one of the greatest criminal lawyers in the history of the Bahamas, but that does not make him and his views infallible. He's made several major gaffes so far, and I think this is another one. Also, why do people compare the present government to arguably the worst government in Bahamian history? It boggles the mind. Every public servant's salary is made public. Every government contract is made public. Let's stop playing games and be accountable to the people and release the figures.
Amen.
All right. Let's take a break. We'll be back. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9.
Come on, baby, just show me what you got.
Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
And we've got your first look at traffic for this morning, brought to you by RBC. For all of life's moments, there's one Visa Classic credit card. Here's what's happening. We've got to remind you about the closures that we're seeing. We've got Shirley Street, single lane traffic, we're told that's supposed to continue until August 10th. And Village Road between Shirley and Harmony Hill Road, that area is fully closed. So avoid that area if you can. So we're already seeing in your real-time traffic that the impact of that closure on Eastern Road, Shirley Street, and East Bay Street. And so traffic is backed up there at that junction at this hour. Elsewhere, we've got heavy traffic on Mile Butler Highway, just midway between Fire Trail and Tony Williams Darling Highway. As you approach Harold Pond, you'll see that in front of you, heading toward the roundabout there. Glaston Road, also building traffic there on the way northbound drive. Elsewhere, just pockets of heavy traffic at major intersections and major roundabouts like Blue Hill Road and Independence Drive. We're seeing some heavy traffic there in both directions, northbound and westbound, northbound on Blue Hill and westbound on Independence Drive. And pockets along Carmichael Road and Prince Charles Robinson Road for now, but not looking too bad, other than Eastern Road and Mile Butler Highway. That's your first look at traffic for this morning, brought to you by RBC. Experience cashless purchasing power and chip and pin security with your RBC Visa Classic credit card. Manage your day-to-day expenses and apply today at rbc.com/Caribbean/Visa Classic. And time for another check of your mid to upper level low, currently migrating over the area. That will continue to trigger sporadic bouts of active weather across portions of the island chain today. Meanwhile, a prominent surface ridge extending across the Bahamas will lift northward as it continues to steer warm and locally fresh breezes across the islands through tonight. Boaters should be alert for water spouts, and beachgoers should exercise caution due to the risk of rip currents along eastern and southern shorelines. And again, everyone's being advised to remain hydrated during peak afternoon hours, as we're expecting another day with triple-digit heat indices. So for today, for all areas, look for very cloudy, hot, humid, and breezy conditions with widely scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms through tonight. Gusty winds and high seas expected. Inner heavy showers and thunderstorms. Temperatures getting up to around 91 Fahrenheit, 33 Celsius, but the heat index will make it feel like 103 Fahrenheit, 39 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down about 77 Fahrenheit, 25 Celsius. In your extended outlook, an increasingly wet and unsettled Friday as added moisture will interact with the upper level low that's expected to meander near the northwest Bahamas. Meanwhile, high pressure will progressively build across the southern islands, bringing brisk winds throughout the country for the remainder of the weekend. So, for tomorrow, Friday, partly cloudy to cloudy, warm and humid with scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms. Saturday, cloudy to occasionally overcast, warm and breezy with scattered showers and thunderstorms in the northwest and central islands. Partly sunny to sunny, warm and breezy with isolated showers and the chance of afternoon thunderstorms in the southeastern islands. That's your morning blend weather check, brought to you by BTC. We'll have a look at the tropics in our next update after news.
You're always on the go. We know life can be a daily rush. CIBC, First Caribbean, you can count on us. We make life easier. Manage on the platform alone. It's easy when you bank online. We make life easier with choices that suit you. CIBC, First Caribbean.
You know, you should teach a savings class, because you know everything. No, I just choose wisely. Like, I just got 2 months free home internet from BTC. All I did was sign up for internet. 2 months internet free? For real? I bundled my internet and mobile services, and now I'm paying half of what the other guys charge. Plus, as a new customer, I get 2 months internet free. Nah, that's a big deal.
Switch to BTC Internet and get the second and third months free for new customers. Conditions apply.
That's the sound of a bite-sized payment I made on my new laptop.
Can I make a bite-sized payment on this amazing vacation?
Yes, with Scotia Select Pay. Now my big-ticket credit card purchases are more manageable with flexible bite-sized payments over 3, 6, 9, or 12 months at a lower interest rate. Scotia Select Pay allows me to better plan my expenses over time. The best part? No credit checks or financing application. Visit bs.scotiabank.com. Conditions apply.
Breakfast just got better at Wendy's. Introducing the Breakfast Piggy Bag. Enjoy a double sausage muffin with 2 square sausage patties, a freshly cracked egg, and cheese served on a toasted English muffin, a medium waffle fries, and an orange juice for only $5.25, VAT inclusive. And an apple pie for just $1 more.
Say what?
At Wendy's, better breakfast is all day. Offers valid in participating locations. Wendy's, different inside and out.
Fidelity, we're good for you. We know how important collecting your money can be to the success of your business. Start your relationship with Fidelity today so that we can show you the many options available to you with our merchant services. From click and pay options online to merchant terminals and e-commerce options. We're here to help your business succeed. For more details, speak to one of our business development officers at 356-7764 in Nassau or 352-6676 in Freeport. Visit our website.com or visit any of our branches.
When faced with an illness like cancer, we band together, and we at Cleveland Clinic in Florida have your back. From advanced cancer treatments to extra safety measures at all of our locations, we're with you on this journey. For every infusion and follow-up, for every step of the way, for every care in the world. Cleveland Clinic in Florida. Get the care you need when and where you need it. To learn more or connect with a local representative, visit clevelandclinic.org/Caribbean.
At Esso, we're thankful for you. So we're giving away thousands of dollars in free fuel. Just fuel up with any amount at any Esso service station, and you could be randomly selected to win a $50 fuel voucher. There will be over 100 lucky winners every week. It's that simple. Fuel up with any amount at any Esso service station for your chance to win. Special conditions apply. Visit facebook.com/Salt Petroleum Bahamas for more details. Promotion ends July 22nd, 2022. The Esso brand is a trademark of ExxonMobil Corporation and is used under license.
This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news, intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversation. 96.9 FM.
Man, you look at man, let's give me. What you talking about give me all of a sudden, just like that? Look here.
Long time I've been looking for a decent man. I had no kind of luck, I don't understand. The men them either lazy, sissy, drunk or broke. Got you in everywhere, I don't want to go to work.
Woman, you know they call me the ghost move man. When I put this on you, girl, I hope you can handle me. I want you focus every week. I want drive the F-150. Every time you go to Miami, I want Polo one night.
Okay. Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Laverne Gardner on this Thursday morning. Coming up in our next hour, we're going to be talking with outgoing British High Commissioner Sarah Dixon. Looking forward to talking with her as she prepares to leave us. And that's coming up. All right, so let's get through the rest of your text messages here. We've been talking about what Wayne Monroe is saying, how it would be unwise for the government to disclose settlement sums. And people have had some strong reactions. Most people are not in agreement with what the minister is saying, it seems. But let's see what else you're saying on the text line. This person says here, utter nonsense, Minister Monroe, talking foolishness. They were elected by we, the people. They are looking for us, the paying people, being made fool of again. Wow. Another one says here, I see the play here. The minister's talking garbage. Everyone knows and sees why these settlements are taking place. Okay. This one says, I've supported this government voting PLP, but what is going on? I'm ready to fire them, but who can I support? Definitely not the F&M. They're all the same. It's the people's money they're playing with. Or paying with. Okay. I submit that the minister's defense for no freedom of information on government settlements is a big-time false analogy, logically speaking, and he should not try to hoodwink us. Lots of texts laughing at me for Dave. Yep. Continue to laugh. Thank you. This.
I'm sorry, Dwight.
Boy.
You extended the olive branch,
Abusive
right?
relationships. That's what this. That's what they are, right? You keep being an idiot and going back. Anyway,
but in his defense, did he? I didn't really even hear what he said.
I mean, he was about to attack you and bringing up some story about you and the opposition leader.
Oh, okay.
Suggesting
I heard my name, but I didn't really get the gist of it. Okay.
Suggesting that you are in cahoots with him, and so that's why you always will condemn anything the PLP does. Right. Okay. Because you're from Grand Bahama, I guess that's it. Is that it?
Oh no.
I don't know. Or he knows something. He knows something we don't know. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh boy. So, hey, anyway, if these issues were settled in court, wouldn't the amounts have been disclosed in court? No, they weren't settled in court. These were out-of-court settlements. Out-of-court settlements. They're saying they didn't want it to go to court.
They didn't want to go to court.
Because likely,
so they settled out of court.
It would have been more money had it gone to court, more embarrassing, more. Yeah, so that's what they're saying. All right, and we got to go to the news. This person says here, I'm convinced this is a gangster society. The Progressive Party is no different than the Free National Movement. They use us to enrich themselves. Oh, boy. Okay, all right. We'll have to pick these up on the other side. Let's go to the news, and we'll be back. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio. Stay with us.
We tell the sun by in the evening. We tell the sun high in the morning. We tell the sun by in the evening. We tell the sun high in the plus we party non-stop. We ain't watching no clock. This party can't done. We ain't finished having the fun. DJ turn the music up.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for your smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at MorningBlend969 or Facebook.com/MorningBlend969. Text us 422-47. And now at 8:18, time for another check of your weather for today, brought to you by Bahamas First Insurance. We've got a mid to upper level low currently migrating over the area. That's going to continue to trigger sporadic bouts of active weather across portions of the islands today. Meanwhile, a prominent surface ridge extending across the country will lift northward as it continues to steer warm and locally fresh summer breezes across the country through tonight. So, for today, for all areas, we're looking at variably cloudy, hot, humid, and breezy conditions with widely scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms through tonight. Gusty winds and higher seas expected in or near heavy showers and thunderstorms. Temperatures getting up to around 91 Fahrenheit, 33 Celsius, but the heat index, again, will be in the triple digits, around 103 Fahrenheit, 39 Celsius, and as a result, you're being urged to remain hydrated and limit outdoor activities during peak afternoon hours. Overnight lows tonight getting down to about 77 Fahrenheit, 25 Celsius. In your extended outlook, we're expecting an increasingly wet and unsettled weather pattern. That's going to begin starting tomorrow as added moisture interacts with the upper level low that we told you about. That's expected to meander Bahamas. Meanwhile, high pressure will build progressively across the southernmost islands, bringing brisk winds throughout the country for the remainder of the weekend. So a lot going on. Tomorrow, Friday, that's going to be partly cloudy to cloudy conditions, warm and humid with scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms. Then you'll really begin to see that rain on Saturday. Cloudy to occasionally overcast, warm and breezy with scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms in the northwest and central islands. Partly sunny to sunny, warm and breezy, though, in the southeast islands, with isolated showers in the afternoon. Thunderstorms likely as well. In the tropics are quiet. Tropical cyclone formation not expected through the next 5 days. That's your morning blend weather check, brought to you by Bahamas First Insurance, still the first and only local insurance company and agency network that lets you buy car and home insurance 100% online. Try it at bahamasfirst.com. And time for another check of your traffic for this morning, brought to you by RBC. For all of life's moments, there's one Visa Classic credit card. A reminder of the closures that we have going on. We've got Shirley Street, single lane traffic. That's expected to continue for the next few weeks. So if you can, you might want to avoid. So we have a Village Road between Shirley Street and Harmony Hill Road. That area is fully closed. So there are detours there. And if you can, avoid Village Road entirely. So that closure is impacting traffic on Eastern Road. So keep that in mind if you are trying to get onto Shirley Street there. People from East Bay Street are being detoured onto Eastern Road and then Shirley Street as well. And so it's just expect some delays in that area. Elsewhere this morning, we are seeing heavy traffic on Mila Butler Highway from Fire Trail all the way up to Tonic Williams Darling Highway. And Blue Hill Road near Carmichael and especially north of Soldier Road on the way to Independence Drive. That area looking congested at this hour. Pockets along Carmichael westbound to Coral Harbor Road. And that's about it. Elsewhere, not looking so bad this morning. But that is your real-time traffic and your morning blend traffic alert. Brought to you by RBC. Experience cashless purchasing power and chip and pin security with your Visa Classic credit card. Manage your day-to-day expenses and apply today at rbc.com/Caribbean/Visa Classic.
Are you an attorney with a joint practice operating from one location? Accepting payments from clients doesn't have to be complicated.
Introducing RBC MultiPay. Now each attorney can securely accept and settle payments with one point-of-sale device supporting multiple bank accounts.
With competitive pricing, training, and easy setup, you will be up and running in no time.
Call 356-8500 to sign up for.
When faced with an illness like cancer, we band together, and we at Cleveland Clinic in Florida have your back. From advanced cancer treatments to extra safety measures at all of our locations, we're with you on this journey. For every infusion and follow-up, for every step of the way, for every care in the world. Cleveland Clinic in Florida. Get the care you need when and where you need it. To learn more or connect with a local representative, visit clevelandclinic.org/Caribbean.
Whether you're battling a chronic condition or offsetting a new injury, Doctors Hospital's comprehensive rehab services offer the help you need now. 3 advanced facilities at Collins Avenue, Carmichael Road, and Cable Beach means your personalized plan for care is just a visit away. From physiotherapy to occupational therapy and speech and language pathology, our team approach is all about rebuilding together. For a full list of services, visit doctorshosp.com/rehabilitation. Doctors Hospital, trusted and best care now. Isn't your health worth it?
Earning zero interest on your savings at the bank? With as little as $100, you can start earning interest on your money while you're sleeping, eating, or standing in line at the bank with the CFAL Savings Express Plan. Ready to invest? Start by putting $1,000 into our mutual funds and earn interest there too. Because at CFAL, your interest is our interest. Visit CFAL.com to start now. CFAL. Growing wealth for future generations of Bahamians.
Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Street. has those hard-to-find fasteners for you right now. You can find stainless steel regular hex, carriage bolts, galvanized bolts, threaded rods, nails, self-tap screws, sex bolts, anchor bolts, turnbuckles, masonry tools, hand tools, and weed whacker strings. Check out the rope selection and car body fasteners, too. Special orders are welcome. It's your number one Valpo Avenue and Palm Beach Streets. Call 326-1976.
Scotiabank has a new sales center. Our Wolf and Jerome branch has been converted into a sales center to assist with personalized financial advice, applications for new and switch mortgages, home builders loans, non-resident and second home mortgages, personal loans, credit cards, as well as investment and insurance services. Also, try our new ABMs at our Wolf and Jerome sales center to conduct multiple transactions for your convenience. Visit Scotiabank's new sales center on Wolf Road and Jerome Avenue today, or call 242-356-1697 or 9 for more info.
This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news, intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversation. 96.9 FM.
If I could live my life far into yesterday, I'll talk with the great Pompey and Black Dick too. Oh, I'll chat with the Milo Butler and the great C.R. Walker, Sir Cecil Wallace Whitfield. I'll say, how do you do, yeah. I'll find Dame Doris Johnson and Sir Randall Fox, L.W. Young.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Laverne Gardner. And this morning we have a very special guest, and it's a bittersweet occasion. British High Commissioner Sarah Dixon is leaving the Bahamas already.
I'm so sad. Can you believe it's been 3 years?
No, we were just talking off the air.
Go?
That's not. But you were here, yeah, right after Dorian.
Yeah.
And so that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I started in June 2019.
Wow. That's right before.
Yeah, and got here in August 19, just before Dorian. But yeah, 3 years. Where's 3 years gone?
My goodness. Wow. Well, this is going to be something. So we're going to talk about your time here and what's next for you and the relationship between the Bahamas and the UK. This is an interesting week as we mark the 49th anniversary of our independence from you guys, but looking at the future and the relationship between the two countries. So we're going to have a great discussion this morning. It is a pleasure to have you with us. Let's talk about that, your time here. The last time you were here, you talked about those first few months after Dorian. Let's talk about that and what's been the most memorable things about this experience.
Yes, so it's quite hard to come into a country that you've never visited before and set up a new High Commission because, of course, we didn't have one for many years. I think it was about 14 years we hadn't had a High Commission. So you don't know anybody, you haven't got anywhere to live, and you haven't got any staff, and then a hurricane hits. So it was quite that baptism of storm and wind and surge. And in some ways, because to be here and see how the Bahamas coped with that and to see how you all responded with your charitable works and how you supported the community and the kind of outpouring of love for Abaco and Grand Bahama from across the Bahamas and, in fact, across the region and across the world was, in some ways, I feel honoured to have been part of that and been able to play a role with the Royal Navy providing a ship and our humanitarian staff that came out and the helicopters from Cayman. So, it felt like a real team effort. And to have been here for that time, in some ways, I look on as an honour.
Yeah, boy. And 3 years, that time has flown by. What else you look back fondly on?
So obviously the pandemic has been very hard on everybody, but one thing about that for me was it meant I could travel the Bahamas because borders were closed, because it was really hard to leave and enter countries. One thing that was possible to do with testing and obviously a little bit of organisation was travel around the islands of the Bahamas. And although I love New Providence, I live in Nassau, visiting the islands of the Bahamas, I mean, you are properly a country that has the monopoly on the colour blue. I said this a few times. Just amazing. I mean, really like nowhere else on earth. And to be able to visit those islands and meet people was also, a tremendous privilege.
Yeah. Well, my co-host Laverne is in Grand Bahama. Did you get to go back after all of that settled with Dorian?
Yeah, a few times. And people on New Providence can be a bit sniffy about Grand Bahama. That's the right way of saying it.
That's not right, Laverne, right?
I hear no lies, Dwight. I hear no lies.
But I love it. I absolutely love Grand Bahama. In fact, people keep asking me, what's your favourite island?
Oh, it can't be Grand Bahama, though.
No, but there isn't a favourite.
Okay.
Because...
Sorry, Laverne.
Dwight, it sounded like you were being a bit sniffy.
I've never heard anyone say that, that's all.
Well, okay.
That didn't sound like that.
Okay, let's stick on why Grand Bahama is brilliant. Grand Bahama has some great restaurants, some beautiful beaches. I mean, I know that's a thing in the Bahamas, but Gold Rock Beach, when the sun is setting, it's a really special place. Interesting national parks that the BNT keep well as the Botanical Gardens, which is just a beautiful, quiet space. Some great reefs. I've done some really good snorkeling in and around Grand Bahama. I've had some really good coffee in Grand Bahama as well. There's a couple of cafes that do a great cup of coffee. So I really like it. I think it's a really beautiful place, and have been back, more than once.
Wow. All right. So, Ken, your favorite island?
So this is where I would say I think that's a false question because there's different things about different islands that are amazing. So Long Island with Dean's Blue Hole and Cape Santa Maria, Cat Island with some of the resorts it's got there. The fish fry at Cat Island's quite fun. Exuma, of course. Exuma is Exuma because if you've got a boat, the possibility to hop between very small islands and see the ocean at its shallowest is amazing. Eleuthera is really varied. So everything from Spanish Wells Harbour Island, Eleuthera, down to Lighthouse Point. It's really varied things to see and do, I think, in Eleuthera. We went to San Salvador.
Oh, wow.
We went to Crooked Island. We went to Inagua. We went to Bimini, Abaco.
You've been to more islands than most people.
Andros. So we did get around. And every single one of those islands had something particular to it that we enjoyed. So where to stay in Crooked Island? And everyone's like, I don't know. I've never been there. I couldn't tell you anything about it. But there's some amazing little accommodations like fishing lodges. The lighthouse at the top end is spectacular. And, we just had a really nice time. 250 people on Crooked Island. I think we met them all. Just such a nice thing as well, because family islanders generally, interested in visitors and want to have a chat, which is a nice thing.
Wow. So it sounds like you had a good time. You had a good time here.
I did. And I am now your unofficial tourist ambassador.
Yeah, it sounds like it, and that's wonderful. That is very good stuff. All right, so let's talk about the work when you were working here.
Yeah.
To set this up, as you said, after 14 years, it's been a long time. What that has been like, and what we can now expect as a result of this.
So part of my remit, I think, was to find out what our two countries had in common and where we may disagree. So both sides of the coin. And then work out where working together, either on those areas of agreement or disagreement, would be good for both countries, energy between us. And in fact, yesterday I was with a kind of natural grouping. We have a really close relationship in financial services and legal services. Our systems are very similar. Lots of people who work in those services here have worked in the UK or studied in the UK. And there's a lot of connections. And we were having a conversation that we've had more than once about how to remove barriers or make things easier for those services to work together. So that was really interesting. We've done a lot of environment and climate work. And after this today, I'm going to see some of the great NGOs of the Bahamas that we've been working with, Brief and BNT and, all sorts of other ones. Because, in fact, you are super climate vulnerable, as I saw when I first arrived. So working on climate environment is a global issue. It's not one country can fix it. It's not one country that, has all the answers. So we work together on that really closely. We've also done a bit in the education space. We're just finding this year's Chevening Scholar to study in the UK. And we've been working quite hard. Maybe this is a slight regret of COVID, that we haven't been making student visas easier. It's been really hard to get that much more fluid, is how I describe it. I mean, it's possible to do, but it's just...
What's been the issue, other than COVID? What's been...
COVID, basically.
That's it?
Yeah, it's been really hard to get people across borders. There's a backlog of visa decision-making in all countries because people have started travelling again. It's just hasn't been... I was hoping it would be by now, it'd be zingy, zingy, zingy.
So what's been the impact of that? I mean, people just have not been able to make it to school when they're supposed to, or what do you see?
So I suppose there's a combination of things. One is that people find it quite hard to fill in visa forms. I think it's just a tricky process. So then people make mistakes which can slow things down. Also, we don't have a visa clinic more than about once a month. So you've got to plan ahead. And sometimes it can be tricky to plan ahead. Some people just don't plan ahead, but sometimes it can be tricky to do that because you're not quite sure what your plans are going to be in order to give your biometric data for the visa. And then, like I say, everybody stopped travelling and everyone has suddenly started travelling again. What's good for Bahamians is most of the time you don't need a visa to visit the UK. You're visa-free. If you're going there on holiday, short stay, you don't need a visa. It's the students I feel sorriest for because they do need one.
In terms of the biometrics, can that be done at the High Commission or no? Students would have to travel for that.
So what we've organised is that once a month the biometric people come to the Bahamas and they usually operate out of a hotel in Nassau. I think last time they were here it was from the Comfort Suites Hotel that they were operating. And so you may, if you're on a family island, have to travel to Nassau, but once a month you can do that here in Nassau. So we have managed to get that going.
Yeah.
Dwight, do you know on average maybe how many students we have now studying in the UK?
It's a relatively small number. I couldn't tell you accurately, but it's less than 100, I'd say.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned Chevening. I'm going to get back to that in a bit. But travel, we saw what Heathrow is saying about limiting the numbers coming through the airport. What do Bahamians need to know if they're planning on going to the UK this summer? What is there anything? I mean, that raised a lot of eyebrows.
Yeah, so I think the travel industry generally is hurting from COVID. I'm sure it's the case here in the Bahamas as well, that lots of staff were laid off from hotels, airlines, transport firms, tour companies. And now all those people need to be rehired. And in the case of airports, they need security clearance. So they may have had it before, but they need that again. Also, we still do have COVID in the UK. It's still a factor. So staff are off sick. And I think it's just been really hard for Heathrow to manage the airline's enthusiasm to put on lots of flights and the public's enthusiasm. So they're trying to manage that in a sensible way as possible. There are 8 flights a week from Nassau to London. Virgin Atlantic and British Airways both fly direct, in addition to being able to fly via the US, which I know lots of people do. So it's quite easy to get to London. And London is a terrific springboard to other parts of the world. You can connect into Europe, Asia, Africa from there quite easily. So... Yes, in fact, a Bahamian minister yesterday was telling me that he always packs so that he doesn't have to check his bag on, so his bag is always with him.
Oh wow!
So I think if you're going on a shorter journey, if you can keep the packing to a minimum, and then obviously
that sounds hard though, going all the way to London.
Well, I don't know. It depends how long you're going for.
Right,
you can always get a case that you're filling up with stuff to bring back as well.
Wow. But as far as the number of flights won't change as a result of what we're hearing from Heathrow, or
not that I know of. In general, it's impacting short-haul journeys rather than long-haul. Yeah. So I think some of the shorter destinations into places like France and Spain, there's multiple flights a day. They're shrinking those flights rather than the long-haul flights.
Yeah. Wow. All right. So let's talk about the Chevening scholarships. Always struggling to figure out how to pronounce that, but Chevening. I heard you say that, so I'm going to say it like that. Tell us about that, what that is for those who aren't familiar, and who should apply for this.
So anyone can apply who is looking to do a master's qualification and who has a little bit of work experience. So it's not undergraduate studies, it's not school studies, it's for a young professional who's looking to take that extra step in their career, and having that master's qualification will really help them. But it's any subject at all. Recently we've had the current Achieving Scholar is Bradley Watson, who's been studying environmental science. And before that, it was a ZNS journalist who was studying broadcast and media. Before that, we had someone studying psychology and somebody studying a master's in arbitration. So, it really is any topic.
Are there any age requirements? Old geezer like me apply?
I don't think so, although like a lot of study, usually younger people apply for it. But I don't think that I remember that there's a cap age or anything of that nature. So yeah, it's a really good funded master's opportunity to study in the UK, and it reopens again in August. And one thing we always say is, if you're thinking of applying, please don't leave it till the last minute, because actually you have to write some essays and prove that you're really interested in your subject area. And that
Do you have to be accepted already into a program, or
no?
No,
you don't.
Okay.
No, so it's saying what you would like to do and what you'd like to apply for, and then there's an interview process as well.
All right.
That goes with it. But August to November is the window that it's open for applications.
All right, that is good to know. Hope people are listening. Hope people are listening to that. All right, so what about other educational opportunities? What is available to Bahamians who want to study abroad, but especially in the UK?
Well, I know that scholarship particularly well because it's government funded, but most British universities run some kind of... and it depends what you want to do and where you want to study, but check out their website because a lot of them do scholarship programs aimed at overseas students. And so there are a kind of quite wide range of possibilities to study in the UK. And Bahamian students generally do really well in the UK. There seems to be an affinity there that means that people enjoy the experience. And because our systems are so similar, actually there seems to be a lot of continuity between British education and Bahamian education. There seems to be a connection that works well for people.
Yeah. All right. So that is great. Any other government scholarships or funded any other programs?
Not that I know of. I mean, from time to time, we do partnerships where we co-fund the scholarship with organisations. So if there's anyone listening to this who really would like to co-fund with us scholarships for Bahamians, and you can pick the area as our of study as our partner, do get in touch with the High Commission because we're very interested in making sure we've got some good partnerships in interesting areas.
In our 9 o'clock hour on business opportunities, we'll get into that in a bit. But we are getting some interesting text messages as usual. All right, so this one. Can I obtain a British passport because I was born before 1973 and I'm classified as a British subject? So can I please get my British passport?
Okay, so hand on heart, I've never issued a passport in my life and do not know the rules off by heart. But we do have a really good government website, gov.uk. If you put gov.uk passport in, it'll tell you who can apply, how to apply. All the information is on there. So it's possible that your listener has a look online and it literally says who's entitled. They put in their details and it'll tell them. But all passports are issued in the UK now. So no embassies overseas issue passports. It's all done centrally. That's also suffering a little bit from COVID backlog.
Yeah.
Nobody applied, and now everyone's applying, and it's been a bit tricky.
Have you ever heard anybody say that? I mean, because Bahamians born before 73 were British subjects, but I mean...
I've got no idea, I'm afraid.
Laverne, I've never heard anybody who wanted to... Well, nobody recently.
Oh, I thought you were saying Laverne was born before 73. So she would know. which would be very accurate.
Oh boy!
But I haven't heard that. I mean, you know, I've never heard that before.
Do you know? No one's ever asked me.
That I heard that there are people who didn't want to become and now to say they want that. Okay, but let's talk about that. The fact that we celebrated 49th, about to celebrate the 50th, and questions are being asked as we see others in the region are wondering whether they should become republics and remove the Queen as head of state. What are your views on that? I know I've asked you about this before, but since now Barbados has done it, Jamaica says they're going to do it, what should Bahamians be thinking about at this time?
So I suppose there's various parts to this, but the main one is it's nothing to do with me. So what the Bahamas wants to do is 100% in the hands of Bahamas and Bahamians. So you're a sovereign independent nation. You choose your own future and your own course. And until now, you've chosen to have the Queen as your head of state. And really, it's a ceremonial position which the Governor General operates on behalf of Her Majesty. And you've had some amazing Governor Generals. I've had the privilege to meet a few of them in my 3 years here. And they're really the people who on the ground are, operating as your ceremonial head of state. And they're all appointed, of course, by the government of the day.
Yeah.
So it's a very kind of link, a Bahamian link with Her Majesty the Queen. I know lots of people have different views on this in the Bahamas about what they think is best. But really, it's for the Bahamas to decide how they'd like to have their head of state. One thing that I just bust a couple of myths. You don't have to have the Queen as head of state to be a member of the Commonwealth.
Right.
Barbados are still in the Commonwealth, and there's lots of countries in the Commonwealth that don't, and there's some that do. Australia, Canada, the Bahamas, Jamaica, you've mentioned, all have the Queen as head of state and are independent sovereign
But becoming a
nations
republic wouldn't
and
mean we
Commonwealth.
have to leave the Commonwealth.
Exactly. Right. Two things aren't connected. We'll ask about it's the Privy Council as the Court of Appeal. Again, that's Bahamas' decision. There is a Caribbean appeal court that you could use instead, or you can stay with the Privy Council, and it's not connected to whether the Queen is your head of state or not.
Yeah.
So there's a few myths out there that I, just take the moment to bust.
And
but
the
actually,
UK wouldn't take it personally if we decided to do whatever.
No, so, I mean, in fact, the Barbados example is a good one. The Prince of Wales went to that ceremony. He gave a lovely speech saying how relationships develop and friendships endure. So you can still be friendly with a country, and even if that relationship changes over time. So there is no reason for it to mean that the Bahamas and the UK have a bad friendship, that we don't work together on things if that constitutional change happens. But like I say, that's really, for the Bahamas to decide its vision of how it would like things to be.
Yeah. You mentioned earlier that when you came, you wanted to look at the things that we agree on and that we disagree on. Is there anything that we disagree on? Is there something things that we need to work on, the two countries?
Sports, I think it's probably, let's lay it on the line. You've got cricket.
We don't understand cricket.
You've got cricket as national sport, I'm sure.
That's a major challenge for us.
All parties have said to me, we may have to ditch cricket as a national sport. And I get that. I think I've seen one half-hearted game of cricket since I got here, and I appreciate that on sports, you may have be operating in a different space. I love the idea of it being sailing. We're both big coastal nations. In fact, I know that Bahamian and British teams were competing in the World Sailing Championships just this past couple of weeks.
Right.
We may have pipped you to the post on a couple of things. You may have pipped us. That was great. That would feel much more of a natural linkage. So maybe on sports is one area where we disagree. And obviously, your big neighbour next door is quite influential on your sporting interests.
Yes, absolutely.
So I get that.
But no fundamental issues other than the cricket thing. Nothing.
It's interesting that actually I think there's quite a lot of affection between our two countries. There may be frustrations, but usually our frustrations are process related rather than, fundamental disagreements. I would say our country, the UK, is in a slightly different social, cultural space on some of the things that I think the Bahamas is perhaps a bit more conservative on. But I've tried to explain what the UK thinks and understand what the Bahamas thinks on some of those things. There was recently a kind of conversation around how you deal with issues like marital rape and equality and things like that. And the UK is in a bit of a different space, but it's more of a, maybe it's a different socio-cultural context in which the UK operates that means that having conversations to share our experience, I think, rather than anything else might be my approach.
Marriage rape wasn't always the case there.
No,
so
exactly.
We're maybe a few decades behind.
Yeah. I mean, with all these things, countries evolve in how they handle things.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah. I want to ask you about a controversial issue. It keeps coming up, reparations and whether there should be. What's your personal view on it, and then where things officially stand, I guess?
I think it's a really complex topic. And in fact, it's not something that in previous jobs I've had to deal with. So I've done a lot of lists about how they view history. Mm-hmm. I think there can be a tendency to mix up the slavery part of history and the colonial part of history. I mean, obviously they kind of at some point crossed over. Mm-hmm. But it's sometimes that people are worried about things from the colonial past rather than the slavery past. But actually they kind of conflate the two. And I think it's a really difficult topic to deal with. It was interesting what the Prince of Wales said in the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting a couple of weeks ago, where he said, feels like the time is right to have that conversation. So I have a feeling talking about our past, reconciling what happened in our past, and trying to work out what that means for our today, I think that's really where it comes down, isn't it, is something that people will talk about in more detail than previously.
Yeah. We are talking with British High Commissioner Sarah Dixon on Morning Blend. We're going to take a break in a moment. All right, so what is next for you? What are you going to be doing after you, and when exactly do you leave? I don't know if you can say that, but...
I can, yeah.
And what are you going to be doing after this?
So I'm leaving at the end of July, sadly. Wow. I wish I could stay longer. Mm-hmm. And in fact, I will be back, I'm sure, on holiday. But I'm going to London. If you have been watching British politics, you will see that there's
a lot of interesting things happening.
There's a few things going on. And I'm a civil servant, so mm-hmm. I'll be careful in that space because it's not for me to give opinions on who's going to be running the country. But there's some things going on, so I will wait and see exactly what my job will be in London. I've said to a couple.
You're not going to another.
I'm not going overseas again at this. I'm going to go back to London, and the relationship between senior civil servants and their ministers is really important. Mm-hmm. I think in both directions you need to get on and work as a team. So I'm going to wait and see how it all kind of pans out.
Wow. Okay, so later, after the break, we'll ask you a little bit about that. I know you can't say too much about what's happening.
I can say a bit.
Yeah. A little bit. Yeah. Okay, so we'll talk about that when we get back. And as we said, we'll get into business and opportunities between the two countries. This is Morning Blend. We're going to take a break, and I think we'll go to the news update as well, and then come back with more in Morning Blend Business. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Scotiabank has a new sales center. Our Wolf and Jerome branch has been converted into a sales center to assist with personalized financial advice, applications for new and switch mortgages, home builders loans, non-resident and second home mortgages, personal loans, credit cards, as well as investment and insurance services. Also, try our new ABMs at our Wolf and Jerome sales center to conduct multiple transactions for your convenience. Visit Scotiabank's new sales center on Wolf Road and Jerome Avenue today, or call 242-356-1697 or 9 for more info.
One thing there is no debate about is that BTC has the best rates. Now, the best rates just got better because you pay half the price of the other guys with your BTC home internet and mobile services combined. Switching to BTC is a no-brainer because I pay less with BTC and get super fast internet with speeds up to 600 megs. The other guys, their internet only go up to 105 megs.
Get all the internet you want at half the price when you bundle your home internet and mobile. Visit a BTC store to make the switch today. Conditions apply.
Hello? Can you show you something else, boy?
Who this is? Tamika?
You don't even remember my name? Wow, Dread.
Girl, I've been so busy. You still planning your trip?
Girl, and I can't wait. I right here online booking my car.
You dare planning trip. You vaccinated?
Girl, we had to. We ain't been nowhere since this pandemic started. Girl, and we got a 14-day vacation.
Best vacation ever. I know you was gonna get the vaccine because you too like travel. When y'all get your vaccine?
Girl, long time. Because you gotta get your first dose, wait, then get your second dose at least 2 weeks before you travel. Johnny get his vaccine and he 12. Even Grammy get hers. Child, and Grammy say she ain't get no money. But I see her hiding that under the mattress.
Child, let me send my list, because I know you going shopping.
Keisha don't play with you.
Vaccinate today, live tomorrow. A message by PAHO WHO, Canada, and USAID.
Girl, you see how Cora eye look funny, all black up yesterday?
But she say she bumped into a wall when she's running after the churn them.
Yeah, but last Saturday, you see her arm was all black and blue, right?
So what you saying? You think something wrong between her and Jack?
I ain't sure, but you know Jack is a jealous man. I hear him and Cora last Friday. I hear him say he hear Cora have eyes for Junior.
Now you know that ain't true. Cora is a good woman, does mind her business, take care of them churn, and go to church every Sunday. So what you think we should do?
I think we should report Jack, you know. Cora don't say nothing, but silence hides violence, and we don't want to line up in the cemetery.
Not me. I ain't getting in nobody business. Then Jack come after me and I land up next to Cora.
And remember, we can even get some grocery money for our tip.
Remind me again, how does this work?
We can call them in Miami at 328-TIPS or 328-8477. Or when we in the island, call toll free at 300-TIPS or 300-8477. And if you don't have no minutes, use the Crack Crime Bahamas app and we could text them and the messages get all mixed up before it leave your phone so nobody can know what you saying.
So what we waiting on then? Let's go earn some grocery money.
Wherever you're headed, the Custom Computers Know-How team is standing by to help guide you in the East and the West. We now have 2 convenient locations on Patton Street in Palmdale and our newest store in the Caves Village Shopping Plaza through the Blake Road entrance. Discover the latest products by top international brands and the knowledge you need to unleash tomorrow's technology today. Drop by Custom Computers out east or out west. We're open Saturdays from 10 till 4.
I used to think of the bank as my personal ATM machine. If I wanted a new car, new furniture, a weekend trip to Miami, no problem, just max out the credit card or top up my loan. I was a big baller until I realized that 75% of my salary was going to pay back all those loans. Fidelity's personal financial coaching was the best solution. Fidelity gave me a plan with a debt consolidation loan that has a built-in savings that pays 5% interest. I now only have one low monthly payment, plus money in my pocket. Give Fidelity Bank a call at 356-7764 in Nassau, or visit any of Fidelity's locations, or visit a website at fidelitygroup.com.
Breakfast just got better at Wendy's. Introducing the Breakfast Piggy Bag. Enjoy a double sausage muffin with 2 square sausage patties, a freshly cracked egg, and cheese served on a toasted English muffin, a medium waffle fries, and an orange juice for only $5.25, VAT inclusive. And an apple pie for just $1 more.
Say what?
At Wendy's, better breakfast is all day. Offers valid in participating locations. Wendy's, different inside and out.
At Esso, we're thankful for you. So we're giving away thousands of dollars in free fuel. Just fuel up with any amount at any Esso service station, and you could be randomly selected to win a $50 fuel voucher. There will be over 100 lucky winners every week. It's that simple. Fuel up with any amount at any Esso service station for your chance to win. Special conditions apply. Visit facebook.com/Salt Petroleum Bahamas for more details. Promotion ends July 22nd, 2022. The Esso brand is a trademark of ExxonMobil Corporation and is used under license.
You're always on the go. We know life can be a daily rush. CIBC, First Caribbean, you can count on us. We make life easier. Manage your accounts at any time. Apply for a loan. It's easy when you bank online. We make life easier with choices that suit you. CIBC, First Caribbean.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas. Is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning and welcome to Morning Blend Business on this Thursday, July 14th, 2022. Welcome back to our Morning Blend listeners. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan along with Laverne Gardner, and this morning we are talking with British High Commissioner Sarah Dixon, who unfortunately her time is up here and she's leaving the country in just a few weeks, but we are talking about her time here and what the future will hold for the Bahamas and the UK and our relationship. And having a great discussion so far. So tell us about the incoming commissioner.
So his name is Thomas Hartley. His previous job, he was the Deputy High Commissioner in Accra, Ghana. And he's been in the diplomatic service for many years. And before that, worked for other government departments, Ministry of Defence and others. He, like me, is a civil servant. Our system is quite different, I think, to some other countries in that almost all of our ambassadors, I'm trying to think of any exceptions. Every now and again there's an exception, but at the moment I think all of our ambassadors are career civil servants, members of the diplomatic service. We don't usually have political appointees as our ambassadors, so he, like me, is a civil servant as well.
Very interesting way to do it. Yeah, I think I like that, Laverne. What do you make of that one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty good. How long were you in this? Have you been in the service?
25 years.
Oh, wow.
I know,
Okay.
a while.
Yeah.
I think what makes it easier with civil servants, particularly professional career diplomats, is we have worked all over the world. We've done similar jobs before, and we can respond in our countries, work for different parties, and we don't have to change with the party. You know, we work for different governments, so that gives us a continuity. It also means our decision making and our appointment making of ambassadors is a bit easier than in a political situation where you know, it may be more complex. You know, there may be differences between the parties over who you appoint. Whereas for us, it's a bit more straightforward.
Right. You wonder why most don't do it like that. But okay, that's wonderful.
Yeah, that would seem to be the best way.
Yeah. All right. So let's talk about the business, commerce, the economy between the two countries, and what we're looking at now, and what can be done to improve that in the future. And if people are interested in expanding their business to the UK or doing more in trade, what are the options now?
So one of the things that I'm pleased I managed to do during my time here was for the Bahamas and the UK to sign onto the UK CARIFORUM Economic Partnership Agreement. And that's a framework that allows goods and services to move more freely between our two countries. And it removes tariffs on lots of goods, and it simplifies some of the process. Our process is still very similar to the European Union process. It hasn't radically changed since we left the European Union, but a few things have changed. There's a few different forms to fill in. But it's what's known as provisionally entered into force, allows businesses in the Bahamas to export goods and services to the UK in a relatively straightforward way.
Have you seen any fruits from this? What are the benefits? What are you noticing so far?
Okay, so I mean, I know COVID sounds like a bit of an excuse, but I know that for businesses, both at home in the UK and here in the Bahamas, it's been really hard to move stuff around. Energy costs have gone up, which means shipping costs have gone up. Stores have been disrupted. People have been purchasing in a different way, which means that it's a little bit hard to tell what the direct impact of the agreement has been. And trade figures generally don't represent normality. But I do feel like we've had more. Why do you need a High Commission? One of the reasons you need a High Commission is to help answer people's questions. And we've been doing some events with the Ministry of Economic Affairs, with the Bahamas Chamber of Commerce, to talk about exporting to the UK and business-to-business links in a way that before we had a High Commission to do, or perhaps happened less frequently. So we have done as much of that activity, of course, online, virtually over Zoom, but we've done some more of that to help businesses understand how to work across the ocean.
And you've been seeing a lot of interest, or companies are coming forward, or?
Yes, I think I've said to you before that we're really service countries. Both of us have strong legal, financial, hospitality sectors, creative arts. That kind of sector is where actually as countries, we're not really manufacturers of goods. We're shippers as well. We've got, you've got a strong shipping industry, so do we. So that, in fact, it's not really in a goods space that we buy and sell from each other. It's more people and the talent, and working together on projects that, and that's a little bit harder to quantify. But yes, there's been a lot of connection in that services space, and a lot of interest. In terms of goods, sometimes people talk to me about what I call niche products, so things that really only the Bahamas can do and the UK can't. A good example is, there's some vegan products made from coconut oil and things like that, where we don't do that in the UK. We don't have coconuts. We've got quite a lot of vegans, so there's like a match of supply and demand. But yes, I would say because of COVID and high energy costs, actually moving goods has been trickier than perhaps you'd see.
I've heard people mention this to me before, that some British goods they used to see before, they don't see as often now. Is there more interest in some of those coming back to the Bahamas, or new products coming in? Have you heard anything like that?
Well, definitely. If there's an interest in British products, I'm sure we could help the distributors here link up with the right companies to access those goods. Again, that may be just a bit of a function of how things have been going in the past couple of years. It's easier to get from your nearest neighbours than it is from a long distance away. I actually see a reasonable amount of UK products in supermarkets, particularly things like, what we call biscuits, what Americans call cookies, and tea, and there's a shop in the UK that's quite famous called Waitrose, and there's quite a few Waitrose products that I see around the place.
A lot.
But yeah, no, definitely. If there's interest in more British things being in the stores here, I'd be fully supportive, and I'm sure we can help make connections if a distributor's looking to do that.
Yeah. And for people who are interested in working, not just going to school, but working in the UK, what is that process like? What do you do there?
So we're changing as a country how we manage migration. When we were part of the European Union, we had slightly different systems, and our immigration system is evolving and has been evolving. And again, thinking of Bahamians, you're high-skilled, generally service providers, and there is a high-skilled visa route. Normally with visas, you need to have found the job first.
Right.
And then the visa kind of comes as a second. Lots of opportunities. We're currently running nominally at zero unemployment in the UK, which means there's more jobs than there are people. Wow. So it's a good time to be job hunting in the UK because of that.
Are there any particular sectors that are very hot or very much in need of workers, employees?
Yeah, to be honest, I don't know the answer to that. There may be some sectors that are more in need than others, but it seems to be relatively dynamic employment market, and definitely favouring the job hunter because there do seem to be a lot of jobs at the moment going.
Wow. All right, so you say it's changing, so you don't need to have that job first. Just apply and then...
No, I think you do need it.
You still do.
my understanding, I'm not a visa expert, so please go to gov.uk and double check this. Do not take what I say as the final word. But my understanding is you find the job and then you apply for the visa. So it's usually job first, visa second. But there do seem to be lots of opportunities out there.
All right. That is very good to know. All right. Let's talk a little bit about what we touched on briefly, British politics and with
Yes,
your
have you
Prime
been
Minister.
watching?
Oh, everybody's been watching this. The Prime Minister, Boris Johnson, quite an interesting character. But some were surprised, but many were saying this might happen, seeing this from even a couple years ago with some of you mentioned Partygate and the scandals there. I know you can't say too much, but
What I think it would be unfair of me to do is talk politics, because I'm not a politician, I'm a civil servant. What I could do is talk a bit about the process. I mean, one thing that you can see is that this kind of situation in the UK isn't unusual.
Right.
Boris Johnson himself was appointed Prime Minister initially because Theresa May stood down, who was appointed Prime Minister initially because David Cameron stood down.
Right.
And in both cases, Theresa May and Boris Johnson then chose to call a general election after they were appointed Prime Minister to confirm their role as Prime Minister with a public vote. So how the process works now is, as we're speaking, Conservative MPs are trying to narrow down the candidates to run the... And yesterday they had a vote and narrowed it from 8 to 6. Today they'll have another vote, and anyone with less than 30 votes gets knocked out. So it'll shrink further today. And by about 10 o'clock this morning, we should know who the next set of candidates are. And they will keep voting like that, the MPs, until they get to 2 candidates. Wow. Then they'll put those 2 candidates to be leader of the Conservative Party to Conservative Party members across the United Kingdom. And then they will have a period of time to vote. And the party has said we will know the result at the latest by the 5th of September, but it could be earlier depending on how they set the timeframes. And then the leader of the Conservative Party, because they have the majority in Parliament, will become the Prime Minister.
Right.
So it's a little bit complex, I think, to understand, although it's not too different to the Bahamian parliamentary process.
Yeah.
And it seems to be going in a very orderly way. The voting round yesterday happened, the one today is happening. And at this stage, the general public of the United Kingdom do not have a say in this. It's not a general election. It's about who leads the Tory party,
Right.
which then means as they have the majority Prime Minister.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Oh, very much so. And we know that our system would allow for this if folks were bold enough to do it. And it could very well be the case here. But we've never seen anything like that before. But it is certainly interesting.
Well, if you keep watching us, we've done it, like, as I say, we've done
All
it
the
more
time.
than once
Right.
recently. So, and in all cases, it's been a very orderly process. And I'm sure this one will be as well.
Yeah. Fascinating. All right. We are talking with British High Commissioner Sarah Dixon. You can text us. You've been texting us, 422-4796. And you might take calls. Yeah, that's fine. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. All right, this is a text here. It's a delight hearing your guest this morning. I spoke to someone from the UK, I speak to someone from the UK frequently over the past 2 years. Is there still a COVID vaccine requirement to visit?
So my understanding is there are no COVID entry requirements to go into the UK. So there's no forms to fill in, there's no vaccination cards to show, there's no COVID restrictions. There's the normal entry procedures. You need a passport that's in date, that kind of thing. But no, I don't believe there's any COVID restrictions to enter the UK. There have been over time some differences between England, Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland. But my understanding is at the moment there aren't any differences in that. There may be some differences on the ground, mask wearing or not, between the different nations. Again, the UK website, gov.uk, will have an entry requirements box. And if you put that in where you're going, it'll tell you what you need to do. But my understanding is there are no COVID-related entry requirements.
Okay. All right. Let's take this call. Good morning, caller. You are on the air.
Pleasant good morning, Mr. Strachan. How you doing?
Doing well. Good morning.
I'm to your guest, Miss Hartley.
No, Sarah Dixon. Dixon.
Oh, Hartley was I saw it wrong in Google. Okay. Good morning, madam. Two things I wanted to ask the question. For a long time, they've been talking about reparations. And it seems to be a sour note anytime anybody brings that topic up. But I've noticed for years, all my years growing up, when I look at the United Kingdom, especially when I see the Queen and all her jewels and gold coaches and all these things, most of these jewels and rubies and diamonds and everything and gold bullions and everything that they spent to make a coach that you only use it once every 5 years or when they open it in Parliament, has been stolen and pilfered from countries around the world like America, Central America, Africa. Everything has been stolen. But yet they flaunt it in the face of people every so often about their jewels and their diamonds and everything that they never had on their own.
Okay. All right. Well, we talked a bit about this earlier. I don't know if
we did, and I do think that's what the Prince of Wales meant when he was speaking at the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting recently, which is perhaps this conversation has arrived at the time where talking about what happened, how it happened, and what it means for today has reached its moment. So I do think that your listener is making a good point about how people feel towards the royal family and the past of the royal family. And it seems to me that the modern royal family, the Duke of Cambridge, William said something similar when he was about wanting to be a modern relation, have a modern relationship, and kind of his views on serving the people, which I don't think is how monarchy operated in the past. So I think he makes a good point around addressing the past and talking about the past. Where that will come out, I don't know. I don't think any of us do, but talking about it and trying to reconcile what happened in the past, I think is something that the Prince of Wales has been quite clear that the royal family are, more than interested in doing.
Yeah. This text here. I'm a young Bahamian born in 1996. Is there any way I can renounce my Bahamian citizenship for British citizenship?
So I think I might have said before, I'm no citizenship lawyer, so I can't tell you. But there is a bit on the gov.uk where you can look up your entitlement to British citizenship. You need a connection, of course, some kind of connection with the UK. There's different ways of having British citizenship, but there's various routes, but you need a connection.
A lot of people seeking to do this. I don't know what that says about what's happening here.
I think you have a small complication in that we recognise dual nationality. So in the UK, it's perfectly fine to be Bahamian and British. Maybe this is a factor of our past and the fact that we did live all over the world and do things in different countries. Whereas here, you do have to kind of stop being Bahamian to be a second nationality if you haven't already got that nationality. And it seems to me when I talk to Bahamians, everybody handles it slightly differently.
Yeah.
Perhaps you are from two different nationality backgrounds, and so that's happened automatically. Or perhaps you've married somebody, and so you could have the Bahamian system only recognises one at a time.
Well, we're seeing this thread here. I'm curious to know what you think about what we're seeing. We're seeing a lot of people saying it's brain drain as well. People saying that they need to go somewhere else. They want to go to another country.
So did you watch the Independence Day show?
I saw some of it.
You saw some of it. Well, anybody who watched it will know that was the topic of the cultural show last weekend. The character was saying, I'm fed up with the Bahamas. If I want to grow my career, I have to go somewhere else. And at the end of the show, he comes back again because he realises how much he loves the Bahamas and the lifestyle here and the tight community, family way of living, which I think is special. I really do think it's a special thing. Yeah. And you don't get that in bigger countries with millions of people in the same way.
That is true. That is true.
But it's true all around the world that at certain points, particularly younger people, to stretch their wings, to grow their careers, go overseas and spend a period of time doing something different. And then a lot of them do come home again.
Yeah. And we've had it a lot the other way around. A lot of people from the UK have moved here and have stayed here and found it to be completely wonderful for them. But it does seem like quite a few of the text messages asking about that. So maybe they need some time to grow to appreciate the place.
Yes.
Everybody.
Well, also, I mean, of course, I would say terrific. So I can understand why you might want to live there too, because it's a lovely place. But I mean, I've enjoyed being here so much in the Bahamas. I think it's a terrific place to live.
Mm-hmm. All right. This one, they're getting in your business. They want to know if you had to choose, would it be conch fritters or conch salad?
Oh, dear. That.
Wait, do you like conch? Do you like conch?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Whichever one I say.
Conch salad. I feel like that's what you want to say, and it's okay. This is a safe space to say it.
Is it a safe space to say it? Yeah. The other thing at the Independence Day show that made me cry laughing was they had these talking heads who were like, conch salad with like mango and pineapple. What do they think they're doing? You know, I want classic conch salad. I just want a bit of onion and, you know, pepper. And then someone else was going, pepper? Why are you putting pepper in? So it feels to me like it's one of those national dishes where you all can't agree on how to make it or what the best way is, depending on, you know, where you come from in the Bahamas.
Well, I feel like you haven't answered the question yet, though.
So do you know what? I think if you're and you've got a cold beer, a conch salad is perfect. Yeah. In the winter, if you're in a restaurant, it may be conch fritter. It's like a sharing starter.
I think that's a pretty good
answer. That's a very diplomatic answer. But I'm sensing that you want to say conch salad, so I'm going to say it for you. It's okay. It's definitely conch salad.
Oh my!
It was pretty clear that the Duchess of Cambridge's favourite was conch salad. She was enjoying that.
Yeah. She ate some of that stuff that I wouldn't even think of eating. But that's very brave of her to have done that. I'd say conch salad for me, but I eat conch fritters more than conch salad. Does that make any sense? But yeah, but I do.
I guess for conch salad you need like really fresh, lovely conch and someone who knows what they're doing. Conch fritter, anyone can kind of stick together.
Exactly.
That's the problem. That's the problem right there.
So Laverne, where do you fall on the put like mango and pineapple in it or leave it out debate?
No, leave it out. I just like conch salad with absolutely no mayo. I just like conch salad.
She put that in there because there's a myth now that Grand Bahamians are putting mayo all, but Laverne was disgusted by the thought.
No, I just like my conch salad with the herbs. Mm-hmm. I don't need mango and pineapple because I didn't want a fruit salad. I want a conch salad.
Yeah. I'm still disturbed over the video I saw of the person pouring the bluebird orange juice all over the conch salad. That's not the fresh squeezed citrus.
That's something wrong.
What is that all about? We've got another one here. Schooled in the UK back in 2007, interested in migrating to the UK. What's the process? Oh boy! Well, that website.
I mean,
again.
you're right. Everybody seems to want to go to the UK, which is lovely. But yes, definitely. I'm really worried that I'll give someone the wrong advice, and they'll spend time and effort doing something that proves to be wrong. So do check out the website. It's super great. You know, just put study or work in the UK into the gov.uk, and it'll show you the process. It has like steps that it tells you what you need to do.
Yeah. This person says there, Dwight put in a request now for England's cricket team to come down and play a match against the West Indies.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
I mean, you may have trouble with a cricket ground. You're going to have to, like, flatten it out a bit, upgrade it a bit. But that would be fun, wouldn't it? I tell you. In fact, I think generally seeing...
I mean, we'll take your word for it. It might be. I mean, I'd go and watch it. I don't know what I'd be seeing. People have tried to explain it to me several times. I just cannot understand it.
Yeah, it's not that hard. They throw a ball, they hit a ball, you know.
But they keep running back and forth.
Yeah, they run back and forth
for hours.
Yes, yeah.
They can score. I'm told games can go on for days.
5 days, yeah.
What is that all about? Does that make sense?
Doing for 5 days?
That's one game?
Yes, yeah.
Why would I do that? Why would I play a game for 5 days?
Because, it's a terrific... Well, people who go and watch cricket, what do you think they're doing? Do you think they're constantly watching for 5 days? Or do you think they're chatting and having a drink?
Well, you have to. You have to drink and do all kinds of things. I mean, it's 5... Anyway. But maybe you like it.
Yeah, I do. I do like cricket. Yeah. In fact, there is a shorter version called 2020.
Right.
Which lasts about 3 hours.
That sounds more like it.
And it was the kind of thing that when I lived in London, you'd go to after work on a summer's night. Wow. And you'd sit and have a pint of beer and watch the cricket, chat to your friends. And it lasted for less time. So maybe that's your entry, I think.
Right, I've heard of that
into
one.
cricket.
But the other term is just, what is it, overs?
Yes.
Overs, not unders.
Overs.
Overs, okay, sure.
Yeah.
Do you like baseball?
So I have seen baseball games in the States, and it is a fun game to watch. I mean, I suppose in some ways 2020 is a bit like baseball. It takes about 3 hours, doesn't it? And they play over days. I know it's not the same game, but they play a game and then another game.
Right.
So it's more or less the same thing.
Because they traveled all that way to this city, and so we might as well play a few games here.
Yeah, you're making excuses now.
All right. I'm afraid. Do you want to? Yeah? Or we?
No, that's fine. Yeah.
Okay, let's take this call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning.
Hi.
It's a fish of a different kind.
Okay.
I'm not like your previous two. But first of all, in the discussion, I heard of the products of the UK in the Bahamas. I would like to know, in terms of the requirements, the nutritional content and the serving size, if they have followed the same guideline or similar to the Americans that will tell you how much to eat, and so that you don't eat all of the biscuit. In the pack, when you buy a pack, you don't eat all of it at one sitting. I want to commend the watching the independence celebration and for speaking so lovely about cricket. And Dwight, you need to know about cricket as well. I also
one day.
I also want to ask a question about the educational system in terms of making certain programs available to the world, wider world, so to speak. Because sometimes when I go online to get a very great educational product, it say available only in the UK, as if they don't really want to import the very finest high-tech delivery to the wider world. Those are my concerns, my contribution, and I really love, even though I can't say the word love properly because I have a speech defect in terms of the letter V and the letter F, but I love your guest just because of her diction.
Okay. All right, thank you very much.
Oh, but by the way, I think she will also support conch fritters, not conch salad, because it's cooked.
All right, thanks a lot. Well, she likes them both. Yeah. All right, so that was quite a few things there.
Yes, So nutritional information, yes. In fact, I think UK packaging is really, really good at letting you know the ingredients, the serving size, the calorie content, any allergy information. So I think any product from the UK, I'd be really surprised if it wasn't labelled in a way that's super helpful to the consumer.
Sometimes it has it in joules, and I don't know what that means, as opposed to calories.
Usually they put both.
Yeah.
Interestingly, I think, because we used to have the imperial system of measurement, and then we moved to the metric system. British products are really handy because they usually have both of everything, so that you can see the differences between the two. The point about things that aren't available here, definitely, I think I've said before, one of the roles of a High Commission is to bring the two countries together. If you spot anything like that, we have a good email address, which is ukinthebahamas@fcdo.gov.uk. That's quite a lot to remember. Go to the Facebook page. The details are there. Do drop us a line if you're missing something or you want to access something. We can try and get our trade folk to have a look and bring down that access barrier if we can. There may be licensing rules. There may be rules in the Bahamas why you can't have access to the something without a distributor here representing the product. There may be technicalities like that depending on the situation, but it is a good point to make, and we're happy to help if we can with that kind of thing.
All right. I think we may need to have a visa. Your office, who's the visa expert, come in at some point.
Yeah.
They're getting a lot of these questions. This person's asking, can you ask if a person can apply for a family visa from the Bahamas and complete it in the UK, or must they stay in the Bahamas to complete the appointment?
So my understanding with visas is you have to get the visa to get into the UK. So you can't complete it in the UK. You have to do the visa before you get there. That's part of the function of a visa, is it allows you entry. Obviously, if you're going there on holiday, you don't need a visa if you're Bahamian. So just to remember that. But if you want to go and live in the UK, yes, you'd have to do the visa before you went to the UK. I do think the visa website is really good. I also like your idea, Dwight, that we get somebody to talk about visas. And one thing to think about is our Facebook page that I just mentioned, because we publish the dates of when the visa people are coming. They come about once a month. We talk a bit I do little videos on Facebook where I say, think of applying for a visa, this is what you have to do. And if you want to give your biometric details here in the Bahamas, you can give the details here, do everything from here. You can also, if you want to, fly to another country and do it, like the US or Jamaica. It may be that you're going on holiday and it's easier for you to go into the Consulate General in Miami or something and do it that way. So.
All right. This text here says a huge tourism promotion idea for both countries is the link with James Bond locations in the Bahamas.
Nice.
I guess where they've done that. We really do need to take more advantage of that.
So, this is Sarah Dixon's silly business ideas. But there's a few locations here that if I had a bunch of money, which I don't because I'm a civil servant, I would buy and do them up. Like there is the James Bond Bend with the house. That looks like somebody's refurbishing or something. The pink house where the in Thunderball he swims up underneath and it has the sharks in it. That would make a great beachfront restaurant. But I don't know who owns it and I don't know what they're doing with it. But they've boarded it up for now. And I love that idea that you could do a James Bond tour. I think somebody recently in the Bahamas wrote a book about James Bond locations.
That sounds very good.
Yeah, and obviously the Thunderball Grotto in Exuma is really worth a snorkel if you haven't made it out there.
This text from earlier when you were talking about the islands you've been to, they're saying, Dwight, it sounded like she's saying that Exuma is the best island. Am I correct? They want you to commit to saying.
They want me to commit.
Yeah. Oh, boy, this is tough.
It is really tough. And I would say, I think I'm going to have to say what I've said before. One thing I said to you, Dwight, that I said off air was variety and the proximity to Nassau that makes it easier. We had a lovely holiday on Long Island. That was really just a real chill out moment. We've got friends that live on Cat Island, and Bahamians tell me that part of the reason they travel the islands is to see family and friends. Laverne, I've made some friends in Grand Bahama, so when I go there, I'm always having a coffee with them and a chat. I think the human element can make a difference as well as the beauty of the location. And then, like I said to you, I now know the whole of Crooked Island, so by just one visit.
We were talking about this off air, that so many Bahamians have not gone to more than one or two islands. And cost, of course, is a major issue. But what would you do? What would you say to get folks to think vacation here, somewhere here, at least one time, if you've never been to Family Island? What would you say to convince them to do that?
So one of the wonderful things about the Family Islands is it depends what you like to do. So, if you like water sports, we did some great water sports on Cat Island. There was some kite surfing and things like that. If you like wildlife, in Nagua with the flamingos, I mean, it's really amazing, really amazing.
Did you see those owls that nest on the ground? Did you see any of those?
Oh, no, I didn't.
No, they're unbelievable.
Yeah.
And they won't move if you come up to them. Just crazy. And the parrots.
Well, we saw the wild boar, which I know a bit of a problem for the flamingos and the donkeys. And I love a lighthouse as well. There's some seriously interesting lighthouses to visit, whether it be, Hopetown, Abaco, or, across the Bahamas. And then the blue hole in Long Island. In fact, blue holes in Andros as well. Diving the reef if you like diving. You know, you don't need to go to Australia. You can go to Andros and dive a reef. You know, I think it's that wonder of the Bahamas that means that holidaying here can really feel like a break.
Yeah.
Even though you've stayed within the country.
Yeah, definitely. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, you want to talk a little whiskey?
We can
do
talk
that?
about whiskey
Yeah?
if you like.
All right. If you don't remember, we'll remind you why Sarah is the person to talk to about whiskey. This is Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio 96.9. We're talking with British High Commissioner Sarah Dixon, and we'll be back. Stay with us.
Shine your basketball teams up today for the Michael Scooter Reed Peace on the Streets Basketball Classic, August 1st through the 7th at the Hope Center. Get ready for the pastors versus politicians, along with the Phil Lightburn Slam Dunk Contest, then Energy 3-point shootout, along with all championship games, live in living color at the Kendall G. Liza Gymnasium, Sunday, August 7th, beginning at 5 p.m. Street Basketball Classic. For more information, contact 601-4842.
At Western Union, we have different sending options for you to use the one that fits you best. You can send money directly to bank accounts around the world, or for cash pickup by visiting our agent locations. Or you can also start your money transfer in our app and then pay cash in store. Look for an agent location near you, or download our app and send money to your loved ones abroad.
Ready to save? You can put $100 into the CFAL Savings Express Plan and make sure your money keeps growing. Earn interest on your savings while you're sleeping, eating, or standing in line at the bank. Ready to invest? Start by putting $1,000 into our mutual funds and earn interest there too. Because at CFAL, your interest is our interest. Visit CFAL.com to start now. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations of Bahamians. The Access Accelerator Small Business Development Center is here to help small businesses throughout the entire Bahamas. To better serve you, we've made it easier to contact us. Call 461-7232, WhatsApp 359-0626 or 359-2394, email helpdesk@spdcbahamas.com, or submit a ticket when you visit our help center at accessaccelerator.org. The Access Accelerator, empowering small business.
We're good for you. We know how important collecting your money can be to the business. Start your relationship with Fidelity today so that we can show you the many options available to you with our merchant services. From click and pay options online to merchant terminals and e-commerce options. We're here to help your business succeed. For more details, speak to one of our business development officers at 356-7764 in Nassau or 352-6676 in Freeport. Visit our website at fidelitygroup.com or visit any of our branches.
We are back here with Morning Blend Business, a special edition of the show today. Dwight Strachan along with Laverne Gardner. We are talking with British High Commissioner Sarah Dixon. She's leaving us in a few weeks.
Oh, stop saying that.
Our farewell interview. Oh, boy. But the first time you were here, you, I think it was Chester, along with me, and you told us that before you took a little break, right? I should let you tell the story. Between working in the civil service.
Yeah, so I was ambassador in Guatemala and Honduras, and after that I went and worked for the Scotch whisky industry for 4 years before coming to be British High Commissioner in the Bahamas. So I spent 4 years like being full geek, the full nerd on Scotch whisky, and enjoyed it working in Scotland and around the world, working with and promoting whiskey.
My goodness. And it seems whiskey, the popularity is definitely on the rise all over, it seems. Am I wrong about that? Everyone's talking about whiskey these days.
Well, what answer are you going to get from me? I mean, whiskey is a wonderful thing. Drunk in moderation, drink it sensibly, enjoy it. Somebody has spent years making this thing. I mean, Scotch whiskey, the youngest it can be is 3 years. So somebody in Scotland has spent 3 years minimum making this product. Maybe 12, 18, 21 or more years making this product. So drink it respectfully.
Yes.
I think the way I describe it. Drink it how you like. Add water, add ice. If you want to put a mixer in it, feel free. Drink it how you like to drink it. But it's a
I
terrific.
wouldn't put cranberry in it, though. Do people do that?
Doesn't sound very delicious.
No.
But it's a terrific product. And in fact, your listener earlier asking about what products from the UK are here. One thing that you can get is good Scotch whiskey.
Yeah.
And in fact, good gin from the UK as well.
Yeah.
To make your Sky Juice. Use a British gin. Sky Juice.
Of course. Wow. And you've actually, can we talk about that? How you've treated the media to some special tastings?
Sure. So, I mean, Dwight, you know this. I think the journalists of the Bahamas do a terrific job. And I think we're talking about rough rides. I've seen you reporting in terrible conditions after Hurricane Dorian, struggling through the pandemic as well to make sense of what was going on at a really difficult time. And so one thing that I did do was organise a drink for Bahamian journalists. Sorry, Laverne, if people from Grand Bahama couldn't quite make it to that.
That's the story of our lives, huh?
Tricky.
You'll have to have another one just before you leave.
Yes. But we were talking about whiskey and how it's made. And why, in fact, the drinks industry is a fun industry to work in. And I've visited some of the local distilleries, and it is a bit of a labour of love making quality products like that.
Yeah. Do you think? I think I asked you this before. Do you think we could make a whiskey here? Do you think that's something? It wouldn't be Scotch, of course, but is that not? Countries all over the world have their whiskey.
So, in my view, countries all over the world have a drink that is their local beverage. And usually in Caribbean countries, you see rum more because it's sugar-based. And sugarcane traditionally does better here than the wheat and the barley that you would need for a whiskey. Doesn't mean you can't import those things and then make a whiskey, but actually, play to your strengths. You've got some fabulous beers as well.
That's true. Yeah.
Laverne, don't ask me to choose between the beer brands of the Bahamas.
No, especially since they're good sponsors. All of those are good sponsors of the show, so we can't.
We're not picking between them.
No, we're not going to pick between those.
No, just say that you enjoyed all of them.
Yes.
All the Bahamian beers.
Yeah.
Right.
Although that
All
makes me sound like a
Bahamian
drunk. But I drank them responsibly.
All right. You said it before. You're not too sure what's going to be next.
So
go
I'm going back to London. My children have loved living here and enjoyed the schools that they've gone to. But the older one in particular is reaching that exam age, so we need to give her a bit of stability to do her exams. So we'll be in London for a while. And I don't know if you all feel this, but during COVID, it was really hard to see family that were, well, in fact, even family down the road, it was hard to see. But the long-distance family were quite hard to see. So spending some time seeing family and friends that are based in the UK will be great for us. And waiting for the politics to do its thing, so we know how the country's looking.
When is the next general election scheduled? That's a couple of years, right?
It's a couple of years away, yes, correct.
Okay, all right. A couple messages as we get ready to wrap things up. You said you've been to Bimini. Yes, you did.
I did, yes. Dolphin House, very beautiful. I can't remember who's the guy that's building the Dolphin House, but terrific how he's used things that he's found to build, this stunning building. Go visit. If you haven't been, Bahamians, go visit the Dolphin House in Bimini.
I think they're asking if you had the bread.
The bread. The bread has not left an impression with me, so maybe I didn't.
Okay. Okay, they're asking, this is another text, how long you've been here? 3 years.
Yes, 3 years.
And that is a standard time.
It is a
Yeah,
standard
okay.
standard period of time. I mean, can you eke it out a bit longer as a diplomat? Yes, sometimes you can try and, but you can imagine there's a queue of people waiting to come to the Bahamas.
Wow.
Been sending me messages for years. When are you leaving? You know?
Oh boy, so they can take your place.
Exactly.
My goodness. They're saying, oh, you're plenty Bahamian. You've seen a lot, and your knowledge of these various islands is impressive. That's okay. That's pretty good. This person says here, I have never heard any tourism officials speak about the islands like this before. Would Mrs. Dixon be interested in a career change? We could get a petition started.
Do you know, you probably don't even need to pay me. I'll be in London in the drizzle and the cold, and I'll be saying, I remember going to Abaco and, you know, visiting the hotel. Like,
that's actually a good idea.
You know, you probably don't even need to pay me. People will say, what was it like in the Bahamas? And I'll say, well, when you know, wherever it was, I had a lovely time. So I think if you take Bahamians out of the Bahamas, you all get passionate too. Perhaps here you do it less between yourselves. But if you meet a Bahamian in New York or something, they wax lyrical about the time they spent, you know, at Saunders Beach, you know, with their friends.
That is very true. That is, and they fly the flags and they will wear the colors, which we aren't doing much around here, which is very interesting.
And the colours of your flag are so appropriate, aren't they? You know, that kind of aquamarine blue of the ocean and the golden sands. I'm sure somebody thought about this when they made it.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah. They go on to say that they're very impressed, and they were also impressed with the Chinese ambassador as well. Both of you speak with deep knowledge about your country and our country, and this is what we're missing in our, in our shallow ambassadorial appointments. Well, okay, well.
One thing I can say is your High Commissioner in London is the person I know the best, Ellison Greenslade, who was Commissioner of Police, and has done a terrific job in the time that I've been working with him. And, you know, is a great representative. So I don't know all of London's doing a terrific job.
Wonderful, wonderful. Can you congratulate the High Commissioner on her recent OBE distinction? Well, they did. Congratulations.
Yes, thank you very much. In the birthday honours.
Wonderful.
Yes, that was really nice.
Yeah. All right. So, Sarah Dixon.
Yes.
This is, it's been a pleasure. It's been wonderful knowing you. And it's been great having you here.
Thank
you. I wish you all the best. Hopefully we can stay in touch.
Well, I'm definitely going to be back. I mean, as a former ambassador, you have to kind of not throw yourself around a bit once you've left the job. But we'll definitely be back. In fact, I said this to the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge when they were here. It's quite easy to visit the Bahamas on holiday in a relatively low-profile way.
Yeah.
Catch up with friends. Visit the country. So I'm hoping to do a lot of that.
Wonderful. Thank you for your time here, your service, and we appreciate you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate what you do here as well on Morning Blend. Such a good show, as everybody listening knows.
I'm going to put that in a commercial. You're going to be hearing that. We're going to be hearing that for years to come. But thank you.
I can do you a little soundbite if you like.
Yeah. You don't know what you're saying.
Yeah.
You get yourself in trouble. Yes. You want to do it? You could do it right now. Yeah.
Let's do this thing. We all love Morning Blend. It's such a terrific show.
Wow. There we go. I'm going to edit this up right after the show. Thank you again.
No problem.
Oh, man. Sarah Dixon, thank you. All right. We're going to take a break and be back to wrap things up.
The Access Accelerator Small Business Development Center is here to help small businesses throughout the entire Bahamas. To better serve you, we've made it easier to contact us. Call 461-7232, WhatsApp 359-0626 or 359-2394, email helpdesk@spdcbahamas.com, or submit a ticket when you visit our help center at accessaccelerator.org. the Access Accelerator, empowering small business.
Beulah, gal, can you believe this? We are now the patrol queens of the neighborhood.
We now large and in charge, so we need to check out what's going on in everybody's yard. What about that gun that we know that Junior and his homeboys just ran out? Can we report that too?
Of course we can.
But we could be in deep trouble if they find out.
We need to report what we see, Beulah. When you call Crime Stoppers, they just answer your call in Miami.
So then we can report everything? Guns, where they hiding the drugs, who shoot who part of which gang, and the motorcycles.
Then our neighborhood will be the best in the Bahamas, and everybody gonna want to come live here. And then our house price will go up, gal.
So what we waiting on? What's the number?
If you see something, say something. Let us all pitch in and stop the crime before it's your time. Call 328-8477 from Nassau or 242-300-8477 from the Family Islands. Or text us through the Crack Crime Bahamas app. Stop the crime before it's your time.
At Western Union, we have different sending options for you to use the one that fits you best. You can send money directly to bank accounts around the world or for cash pickup by visiting our agent locations. Or you can also start your money transfer in our app and then pay cash in store. Look for an agent location near you or download our app and send money to your loved ones abroad.
This is Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
It is time for your morning business report brought to you by CFAL. Despite the recommendation in the National Insurance Board's latest actuarial review for the board to diversify its investments, it will not at this time because it is currently in divesting mode to meet expenditure obligations. That's according to Minister of State in the Office of the Prime Minister, Miles LaRota. NIB's 11th actuarial valuation as of December 31st, 2018, urged the board to expand its investment portfolio to beyond government securities and foreign bonds, which make up the majority of NIB's assets. LaRota, who tabled the 10th and 11th actuarial valuations of the NIB in the House of Assembly yesterday, said drastic changes are needed to arrest the critical financial state of the fund. Details in today's Guardian business section. Noting that he has pledged fatigue after continued disappointment from global forces and external shocks beyond the Bahamas' control, Prime Minister Philip Davis said it's time for the world to pay for the country's role in being the garbage collectors when it comes to climate change. The Prime Minister was speaking at the 2022 Concordia America Summit in a panel discussion with St. Vincent and Grenadines Prime Minister Ralph Gonsalves on the importance of regional cooperation in advancing investment and economic development. Davis says he's hopeful that at this year's COP27 UN Climate Change Conference, world leaders will do less pledging and take more action to offset their carbon emissions. And real estate companies are facing a shortage of high-end homes to sell, according to Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate MCR Bahamas managing partner Tim Rodland. He told Guardian Business that while there are properties on the market, the good stuff, his words, have been sold. Rodland's brought about a boom in the high-end housing market that has been so successful, inventory is low. He says that while the Family Islands have been popular for purchases recently, New Providence remains a top choice for buyers. In your market watch, recapping trading on the BISX from Wednesday. Your market movers: Doctors Hospital moving 1,500 shares, closing up 1 cent to 10.27. Consolidated Water down 1 cent, closing at 2.78. Emira Incorporated up 4 cents, closing at 11.40. The Basics All Share Index closing at 2,592.75, up 0.05. That's your Market Watch. And that is your morning business report, brought to you by CFAL, growing wealth for future generations. And we're back here, wrapping things up on Morning Blend Business. Dwight Strachan along with Laverne Gardner. Laverne, we're out of time. Hope you have a great one.
You too. Always a pleasure.
I'll talk with you soon, and I'll be back tomorrow morning with more Morning Blend and Morning Blend Business right here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan, have a great one. Stay tuned for On the Clock with Aaron Green coming up next.